We haven't done that one in a while. How's it going, everyone?
Good. How are you?
Welcome to another Yelling at Parked Cars, where Culture Casino, myself, Sir TalksAlot, and a guest that we usually have on, which is Mark the Cyborg. Say hi, Mark.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
We talk about libertarian stuff and the Great Reset, amongst other things.
Sounds
so
like
here we
it's
are.
going to be a lot of fun.
Well, we've been getting requests from Eric to have you on, so I was like, I saw you in the chat on Friday. I was like, oh, I'll just ping Mark about it.
Yeah, no, actually, I was doing the editing on my Cyberpunk review at that time and just kind of listening to you guys, because when I'm editing audio, I can't have anything else going on. But editing video, it's most of the time is actually just me pawing through my footage, looking for the clip that's going to go with what I'm talking about. So while I'm doing that, I'll often just have another window with like a podcast or something going. So while technically I'm a mod for Gary's channel, I wasn't really doing any modding. I was just kind of editing while listening to Friday Night Tights.
Yes. So yeah. Yeah, here we are. It's another Monday. And let's go and see who's here tonight. Starting at the top, we have TM Martin, as always, Toxic Man Flu. I always screw up your name, dude. Shefik. There we go. Shefik1.
Oh, that's my fault.
There we go. We also have Rajesh Taylor that is here. Apparently a new viewer. So thank you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Let's see. What's that?
I said, indeed. Welcome all the newcomers.
So here we are. Justin is in the house. So is Roger the Shrubber. Robert is also here. And we also have Rex Smith. And let's see. Max Mercer, as always, who likes hanging out with us. And Eric, who is the one who made the special request to get Mark the Cyborg on board. So here we are. How are you guys? How's your day treating you guys?
Pretty good. I'd say probably the most difficult video I've ever had to edit just released, and it seems to be doing all right. It's my longest review for Cyberpunk 2077, 33 minutes long. Usually my videos are like 12 minutes. So it's, but there was a lot to talk about with this game, both positive and negative. So I couldn't really cut down the script too much more than I did. I think it's like 7,200 words. But,
so we have a question for you. Drove into any trucks, Mark?
No, not lately. Though driving in Cyberpunk is tricky. Though I did just have dinner with X-Ray Girl's family, and they live in Toronto, which is about an hour away from where we are. And it was a safe drive, both directions. No incidents with trucks.
Was this like a Cyberpunk reference, or did you actually drive into the truck?
It was from a Warzone stream we did, like Call of Duty Warzone, where it was me, Josiah, Lethal Lightning, and Uche. And we were getting chased by a big flatbed truck. We were in like a little like dune buggy, but like there was 4 of us in there. I was driving, so I could not shoot, and I was getting shot like by the people in the big truck, and was almost dead. So I went into like an aqueduct, kind of like in Terminator 2, like the thing they have the chase in, like kind of the beginning of the movie, and was thinking, okay, that's a big heavy truck that's coming chasing us full throttle. So if I do a U-turn, well, now that I've got some cover in this aqueduct, come up and then play chicken with it and get around it, I'll be able to get past it. And because it's so heavy and going so fast, it won't be able to stop. They'll fly into the aqueduct, and then I'll be able to get away. Because if I continue going in the direction I'm going, I'm just going to get shot and killed because I'm almost dead.
Right.
Apparently, though, the driving physics in Call of Duty Warzone are not super realistic. So the truck just kind of stopped on a dime, and I hit into the truck, and then they threw a bunch of C4 satchels at us and blew us up. And it kind of turned into a meme clip. It's on Geeks and Gamers as like basically a Call of Duty Warzone fail. But I assumed that the flatbed truck would have more trouble stopping than it did.
Happens.
Video game physics. Speaking of which, no, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's like I hate driving in video games because I suck so badly at it. Even like with Cyberpunk 2020, it's like I fucking running into shit all the time.
Yeah, the driving physics in that game are not good.
Oh, it's so broken.
I think though that one of the bigger problems though is the mini map.
Yes,
because the mini map in that game is too tight. So you don't see your turn if you're in a really fast vehicle and you're going fast, you don't really see your turn in a sufficient amount of time for you to brake to the speed that you need to be braking in order to take like a 90-degree turn. So you end up like overshooting it or having to like brake really hard and stop in the middle of the intersection, and it just kind of sucks. But
Yeah,
I think they
it's-
really went for like a Gran Turismo / like Forza Motorsport type super realistic car handling where you can't be whipping around corners super fast. But for the type of game that doesn't really work as well as the more arcadey like Need for Speed or Grand Theft Auto physics that they probably should have gone with. But
Well, the problem is the mini map isn't speed adjusted. So when you're going faster, it needs to get
expand,
a
zoom
bigger. Yeah, you need to be able to see more of the map, so you can't miss your turn. And so as you go faster, the map gets smaller in the mini map, so that you can see where your turn is.
yeah, it's pretty much locked at like side
it's
street
fixed.
speeds. Like,
Yeah, it's like okay, I'm gonna tootle along at 35. I'm gonna be able to make my turns. But if you're like in a hustle, ain't gonna happen.
I cover a lot of that in my review too. Basically, like my theory is that a lot of the vast majority of the problems in that game have very simple solutions. That I'm just like, it seems like there should have just been a group of people that said, hey, why don't we just add the option to do this, or like add the option to map this to another key. And there's all sorts of little things like that I think could have really tightened up the game. Wouldn't have made it perfect, but there's a lot of like small things that you're like, why is this a problem?
It doesn't make sense, and again, I think it happened because they tried to develop simultaneously for too many platforms instead of developing it on the PC and then porting it to the other platforms, which is way easier. So it just
what did they do with Witcher 3?
Well, they had problems with Witcher 3 too. I mean, it wasn't if I remember right, it wasn't bug free. I mean, it's a game I abandoned for about 3 months and then went back to.
Well, you always got the famous roach on the roof gifs and stuff like that, where you summon your horse and then he ends up like on the roof of a house because the horse just kind of teleports in when you hit the call horse button.
Yeah, well, I ended up with my motorcycle embedded in a car in one of my. One of my playthroughs of Cyberpunk.
Impressive.
Yeah, no, it wasn't great. But here's the thing: I have not run into nearly the kinds of problems that other people have, and I attribute that to the system that I'm playing on. Because when we were talking earlier before we got on with y'all, it comes down to I think your performance of your machine, because your machine will overcome a lot of these problems that other people are experiencing. And graphically, it's easy to solve a lot of the graphical problems just by turning your graphic quality down. But what's the point? If you're playing on a modern console or something, why did you spend a lot of money to make that thing run at 60 frames per second? It should be able to play any game at 60 frames per second. So
hang on. I haven't you guys heard about this? I haven't heard anything about this.
Yes.
Did you see the unauthorized streaming will be a felony if the stimulus bill passes? What the actual
unauthorized
streaming?
Yeah, no, they're talking about. Well, no, they're talking about showing the like legitimately like streaming films on like YouTube and places like that that you don't own the actual rights to do.
That's still fucking ridiculous.
Like, felony means like jail time. Like
right.
Felony means stripping you of your rights. Okay, I mean,
that's the goal. Is just wow, we're gonna dive in right away. That's the goal. This year is all about stripping you of your rights in every single way that they can in every country around the world. In fact, that feeds into the primary content of our conversation. Seems to be of late, but. Yeah, this particular bill, the stimulus bill, does very little for you, but it definitely rebuilds the Kennedy Center, which is really important. Your $600 stimulus check is being put in there with a multi-million-dollar funding of rebuilding the Kennedy Center or restoring it, whatever the crap they're doing. Which again, that doesn't help people. Do you know what helps people? Jobs, working, money.
I don't know culture. I think it's all about renovating buildings that people aren't allowed to go visit.
All right,
Mark.
First up, let's get to the Culture Casino. $1.49, very phallic unicorn. That
always.
It's not a stream without culture.
No. Mark's been on streams. When Mark's on a stream, he gets to see a unicorn. Everybody gets to see a unicorn. So there you go.
Yep. No, I didn't hear about that. That's insane. The idea of giving somebody 10 years for streaming a movie on YouTube
Well, and
Is-
something that's also important to remember is that since it's a felony in association with a digital crime, they can actually very possibly ban you from being allowed on a computer or any digital device in the future.
Oh my god.
That's actually a punishment they can slap you with.
Thank
as
you,
long
Sir
as-
TalksAlot. You
yeah.
just brought my day up.
damn.
Way to go.
I'm just, they
Appreciate
have
it.
fun things they can hit us with as long as they feel.
Or music.
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus
music too.
Christ.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And here's the problem: there are so many violations or false violations of the DMCA stuff. Like I got tagged for one because of a piece of music that's not owned by the person who tagged me for it. It's not owned by a production company that tagged me for it. It's not owned by anybody. It's owned by somebody who posted it on YouTube 2 days after I had already used it. And it's not even mine. It's a clip from author Stephen Walton's book promotion that is free use music.
Yeah.
So I don't even care because I didn't monetize the video. But at the same time, I'm pissed off because this is the kind of crap that's happening across the board. And those people are not held accountable for fraud because that's fraud. You're saying you own rights
about
to
this is that it would say you want to silence somebody.
Mhm.
All you have to do is wait for them to go and make a mistake with streaming. Bam, slap with a felony. That's how you get rid of people now.
Okay, so here's the problem though. If you're operating under the terms of fair use, like I do for reviews and things like that, like one of the things I did early on was I reviewed television programs and also talked about like the new stuff that was coming out that nobody was aware of, like the Walker Texas Ranger bullshit, right? So, oh wow, I already cursed. Man, we're not supposed to curse for like the first 15 minutes and I screwed up. I'm sorry, Comix.
Is that a rule?
Nah.
That's news.
I've heard you get in trouble if you drop an F-bomb within the first.
Oh, well, then
minutes,
that's fine. I'm okay. I just said the S word, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, dude. It's
Their algorithm looks for specific keywords in the first little bit of the time frame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically it's like when you monetize, if you have you can swear in your video, but you can't like before your in your bumper or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why Mecca will cut away right when she says the swear word right before before her intro runs. It's so great.
Yeah.
She does that
After
so
the
well.
intro, you're fine, but before the intro, not so much.
And it doesn't. It's just insane. Oh, hello.
So, Tia Martin for 1221, Hail Comics Vision and Illustrious Panel. Did you see Alice in Borderland on Netflix? No, I have not.
No.
What's
No.
your reaction? Could you win all the games? I haven't seen it.
I have to see it, and then I will tell you.
What I have
I've never
seen-
even heard of it. What kind of show is it? A game show? Is that why she said? Could you win all the games? Or
Yeah.
I'm looking it up. It's on Netflix, so let's see.
Let's see. So what I can tell you is the first 3 episodes of The Expanse are really fucking good.
Ooh.
I'm still like a season and a half behind on The Expanse. Although I
Oh,
found out the
man.
newest season, my cousin Vanessa is in it. I found that out about on Facebook though. She's an actress in Toronto where they shoot it, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm on The Expanse." I was
Wow,
like, oh,
this
man, I
looks
gotta catch
awesome.
up.
This is like anime style. This
Is
looks
this
really
the
cool.
Alice in Borderland?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's an original fantasy thriller based on the popular Japanese manga. So it's
nice.
a live action thing, but I'm sign me up, dude. I'm gonna go check this out. Thank you so very much for that, TM Martin. I appreciate that.
Yeah, what I've been
Check it
reading
out myself.
recently is called Claymore, which is actually a pretty interesting manga. It's basically about these women that get implanted with these things, basically like a piece of what they call a yama, which is like a demon.
Wow.
And they become half human, half yama, and they basically use them to fight these yama. And at first, like the first like 6 volumes, I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty enjoyable. But now things have gotten like really interesting. It's like, okay, this is a fun read. So that's what I've been reading lately. So I'll have to go check out Alice in the Borderland.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I cannot wait to try it out on not Netflix. I will see it somehow elsewhere.
Anywhere but Netflix.
Anywhere but Netflix.
Well, here, and here's the thing. I always tell people, I'm like, I don't have to worry about seeing things on Disney Plus because for the next few years, I have it that I'm not paying for it. So I'll get to see those things. But if I ever have to pay for Disney Plus, I'm out. It's the same thing with if I have to pay for HBO Max, I'm not interested. I will see your material elsewhere because there are other ways.
The same way about Peacock.
There are other ways to even legally see your material. I don't have to see it that way.
Right.
Mutant Banhammer for 2 American pesos. Stephen Hawking's was the first cyborg. Changed my mind.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best of us. he wasn't even kidding around. Like that wasn't even like a limb or like
dude.
Like a small.
He went
thing.
time out. Yeah.
The guy was like talking with a little thing that he tapped with his finger or something.
Yeah. Mutant Banhammer says, can't speak. Mutant Banhammer says Claymore is femme berserk. Changed my mind. She doesn't berserk. Well, okay. I think I know where you're going with this, and I'm gonna have to kind of agree.
By the way, Mutant Bandhammer's been showing up in my streams lately, and I just want to say that's awesome. Thanks for showing up.
I don't know what it is, dude. So Mighty Porkins Plow a Stranger. I can't release your comments for some reason.
Oh no, are you running into that too? Everybody. See, and that's the thing. I talked about it today in the video that I did, is that on YouTube right now, mods can't even post links many times, to other channels. We're running into those issues. I think Gary pointed that out on Twitter. And that, so when you're trying to promote other stuff, even in the approved list of things that you're supposed to be able to, Indiegogo or even freaking YouTube channels, it looks like you're posting them, but it doesn't go out there in the world. And I think that's happening in a lot of different ways, and that's very disconcerting. I think is a good word there.
Very much so.
Yep.
Berserk is easily one of my favorite things ever, though.
It is so good.
If Claymore is comparable to it, I might have to chuck it out.
It was on my recommendations from Comixology when I got done with Berserk. I was like, I'll check it out. And like I said, the first 6 volumes are kind of slow, and then you start getting into the really weird stuff, and it's like, okay, this is good.
Yeah. And that's why Berserk was kind of interesting, because it sort of starts with its weird stuff and then scales back to when things were not nearly as weird in that world, and then kind of slowly starts introducing fantasy elements again. And I really always liked how they did that. Even though there's a lot of people that will say start with the Golden Age arc and skip Black Swordsman, but I'm I don't know. I kind of like the way
I like it. I think it's a really good series. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to more. I finally got done. I didn't realize that it was still going. I thought it already ended. And then it's fuck, man. It's I want to keep reading this stuff.
It's one of those things that's kind of like George R.R. Martin with Song of Ice and Fire. It's just you got to just hope that he finishes it before he dies.
Yeah.
Or that if it's finished by someone 90s, else.
Man, that's been going on for a while.
Yeah, I think it was 88. The first issues came out. And, I forget the name of it. It's some weird Japanese tabloid that it publishes in. I think it's almost like a porn magazine that just had an issue of Berserk in it at the end of each issue.
Well, Berserk can get pretty graphic.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, well, and the upside to that, it's why sometimes people have always said that if you get banned off YouTube, you should just start a Pornhub account and don't make porn, but just have it so that you're actually posting on a very strong video streaming site or video hosting site where there's not really any rules about what you can put up.
Except Pornhub is now not allowing people to upload unless they're verified.
That was a very
they dropped 10 million users.
Yeah, it was a dark day for porn.
Oh my god.
Where am I going to get my Twilight porn from?
You don't have, well, actually, there's this really cool thing called RedTube, of course, and then there's Spank Bang. That's awesome. You don't have to be verified, but you do have to upload something in advance. So usually, a puppy or kitten video works, right? And then you're good to go. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
there'll always be stories though when people just use Pornhub not for porn but just as kind of a Wild West for video upload. I think the big thing, at least in gaming, was Fallout 4 leaks. People get leaked footage of Fallout 4 and then it would get taken down from YouTube almost instantly. So they would just upload it to Pornhub and it would be up there for a month before anyone noticed.
Yep.
Hey, according to Christy, it's been a while. I haven't seen you
in
these parts. Yeah. How's it going? All right, so Toxic Man Flu for 5 American pesos. I'm so happy the government knows the entertainment I like better than I do. This freedom of thought thing is hard. Now, now we're in my bong.
Where is it? Where is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there, dude. I've been there. Not recently, not for a very long time. I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now.
Aging in reverse.
Christy's saying I can finally fucking comment in chats.
Yes.
Oh, there's our F bombs.
Well,
There we go.
Thank you,
Oh, we're
Christy.
20 minutes in too, so we
Yeah.
should be good now. Let's see if
Yeah, we're
still
good.
live.
So fuck those guys.
Yeah, and they're in their ear hole even.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, oh God, we're already limited. Really? Thanks, YouTube.
That was all it took. It was one Christy comment. Oh, it's because I said the S word. I won't do that again, Comics. I'm very sorry.
It's fine. It's not your fault.
Oh, you know what? I actually criticized YouTube too. Man, I'm screwing up all over the place. Why do you have me on? I don't even know.
It's because you're entertaining.
All right.
You're entertaining
Absolutely.
as fuck. That's fun. All right, this is pretty funny because I didn't realize how short this article actually was. I would have come up with more stuff.
I got confused the first time I read through this article because I was all like, wait, what does all this other shit have to do with
nothing. It's really weird because it's like after you get to like right
It's
here,
6
it
paragraphs.
completely changes the topic, and it's
Yep.
like what the actual fuck. Anyway,
Yeah, paragraphs of actual and then not anymore.
it just starts talking about Trump and Biden.
It
Like,
does.
fucking cares. All right, so are you familiar with the Great Reset, Mark?
I am, yes.
Okay.
I am a little unclear as to whether or not popular opinion is that it's a thing that is openly just acknowledged as being like something that's going on, or if it's supposed to be some kind of conspiracy theory. Because it seems like different media outlets can't decide themselves.
Well,
And they'll
it's not a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Hang on, and the reason why I say that is I can't find the book. 1 second.
Well, and I'll say this, Mark, while he's doing that, I'll say this: your own what do you call him? Your own ice cream dude, primer dude, whatever the magical word do you think for like the guy that's not really a president?
Prime Minister.
That's what I said. That guy, that dude actually talked openly about it on live media, like not like on video.
Yeah, but he also was talking to the World God damn it.
World
World
Economic Forum.
World Economic Forum, yeah. Okay, so here's a book written by the guy who co-founded the
You
World
actually-
Economic Forum.
you
It says-
bought it?
I bought it. Yes, I did,
Oh my
because I want to
God.
read it. COVID-19 and the Great Reset. It's written by the guy who not only did he co-found the World Economic Forum, is the one who's pushing for this crap.
Yeah, this
Klaus
is
Schwab.
this,
Conspiracy theory.
this-
It's actually
this-
real.
This is a man who essentially decided that if he could put himself in the place of Adolf and Mengele, that he would like to be both simultaneously. That's this dude.
Well, and he was trained in banking and investment by the head of Nazi banking and investment from 1938 until the end of the war.
Oh, you mean George Soros? Oh wait, no, he's not.
No,
that
no.
old. Sorry.
I can't remember his
Did I
name.
say that out
Some
loud?
weird
Now we're
German
gonna be
name
more
from
than
back in the day, but yeah, he was actually trained by the guy that used to run the Nazi banks. He was basically paperclipped to Great Britain to help them build their national banking system, and that turned around, and he went. From all things that I've seen, he was responsible for training Klaus and what he was doing. So,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Klaus.
Klaus,
Our buddy.
Klaus Schwab, which is funny because so he wrote the book. It's co-author with another member of the World Economic Forum, and yeah, so it's not a conspiracy. They try and say it's a conspiracy. What they're saying is how they're spinning it to say, oh, this is a conspiracy theory, but being spun by the right wing is they're saying that that COVID-19 was created to basically cause the Great Reset, and it's like no. COVID-19 is obviously a thing. It's being used as an excuse to facilitate the Great Reset.
yeah, because nothing institutes faster change than something you can't control outwardly, like a virus.
Oh, in fear. I
and
think
the fear of said.
Well, yeah. I
Dang
mean,
it,
there.
did I say that?
Well, there's a multi-prong attack happening. I mean, obviously, they're going from the one side, which we are talking about openly here on this channel, which I'm amazed at. And number two is the cultural side. You attack from, it's a multi-prong attack. You attack the culture and you attack the other thing. And the goal is to change the world into what, unfortunately the Bushes wanted to see in a different way. And as Comix so famously said, oh my gosh, this is over a month ago when we were talking about this, climate change wasn't working fast enough.
Yeah.
Yep, and that was actually something that they talked about in the World Economic Forum and the what were they called? The Gorilla Project, something like that. Social mobilizing and stuff like that, and they have far-reaching tendrils into all kinds of stuff just because they got lots of money.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because what they're trying to do is they're trying to push for stakeholder capitalism. Which is a very, I'm not going to say it's insidious.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It is. But the idea is that, like with shareholder capitalism, you're beholden to your shareholders. Well, you're beholden to stakeholders, and your stakeholders can be a number of different people, including shareholders. And the idea is that, let's say, your job as CEO is to implement these kinds of social strategies, be it social justice, hiring specific people. If you meet those numbers, your CEOs and your top brass, they basically get the bonuses. Meanwhile, your shareholders don't. So the idea with shareholder capitalism, obviously CEOs and whatnot, they make more money when the company does well, because obviously that benefits the shareholders. Where they can make up arbitrary things and say, hey, we met these diversity quotas. Let's all get a check.
Sounds a lot like Chinese social credit score stuff.
Thank you.
It is.
It is indeed.
That's kind of what they're kind of going after. And it's in here, and we'll talk about it because some of this comes from what was released earlier in the year. So let us review the Great Reset proposal released May by the World Economic Forum and other global-minded folks who outline a plan for a worldwide economic recovery. It's not a recovery.
No.
It's
restructuring.
Restructuring. It's complicated. It actually is, but at the same time, it's really not.
Oh. Just so you know, the part of this new stimulus bill, which is going to feed right into this, is the ability of the companies of this wonderful country to bring in more foreign workers when we have over 19-20 million people out of work right now, but we need to bring more foreigners in to do the jobs that apparently we don't want to do, but are actually not being allowed to do. Probably some of that anyway.
Well,
that's part of the new stimulus plan. So anyway,
what they're trying to do is they're trying to re-engineer capitalism around fairness and equity. Is what they're trying to do.
Instead of effort.
Seems kind of contradictory.
Yeah.
To the base concept of capitalism.
Yeah.
That's why it won't work.
Yeah. Well, because ultimately it's like its own kind of weird form of socialism is what it is. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Follow the science, though.
Okay. Yeah, all the science. Let us review the Great Reset proposal. Released in May by the World Economic Forum and other. I already read that. Okay, so the second paragraph here: the world must act jointly and swiftly to revamp all aspects of our society and economies, from education to social contracts, social credit would be my guess, and working conditions. Every country from the United States to China, keyword is probably China, must participate in every industry from oil and gas to tech. Must be transformed. In short, we need a great reset of capitalism, the organization said in a master statement at the time.
Has the CCP agreed to participate in this great reset of capitalism?
I'm pretty sure it benefits them greatly.
Yeah,
Yes,
it feeds right into all of their Bolsheviks. I mean, this is like their wet dream. We are actually going right into exactly what they want so they can dominate the entire world, and we will all be held under the thumb of one government, which will super suck. You will no longer have free thought. You will only be allowed to think a given way. You will no longer have free speech. You will have. I mean, have we not seen what happens in Hong Kong? Is nobody paying attention? Is it just me?
Oh no, I've been paying attention. Yeah.
Man, they're putting people in jail for life for telling the truth in China right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, if that's where they're starting with the new laws that they're passing, then I can't wait to see where it ends. I mean, honestly, this is going to be the biggest nightmare in human history if this actually comes to fruition.
I mean, and their influence is definitely touching aspects of like nerd
Everything.
culture too. Like, I mean, video gaming is kind of my area of expertise, and off the top of my head, there's like two very specific moments, like the Blitzchung thing, who was a Hearthstone esports player from Hong Kong, that during a live stream said "Free Hong Kong, revolution of our time" or something like that in Cantonese, and they not only took away all of his previous winnings from the tournament that he won, they banned him from competing for a year, and they fired both of the two streamers that were hosting the stream that he set it on.
Yep.
Even though they actually hid under their desk the second he put like a gas mask on, which is kind of like the symbol of the Hong Kong Revolution. And so like they were automatically like, we don't want to be associated with this. And Blizzard still fired their association with those streamers, as well as like totally punishing Blitzchung. And Blizzard's an American company too. They're just one that doesn't want to piss off China that
Well,
bad.
it's because they make a lot of money off China.
Yeah.
That's the reason why it's the reason why the NBA, when that one guy basically said "Free Hong Kong," and he had to apologize. They talked about firing him. You know,
he was
people.
the president of player personnel for the Mavericks at the time. Yeah, and that actually just goes to show you that the billionaires don't care. They have theirs. F the rest of us.
Well, Mark Cuban even said it's like, I'm not going to criticize the customer. And it's like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
People have concentration camps.
It's slavery. I'm not going to criticize a customer. F you, dude. You're gonna promote censorship over criticizing a customer. You know what? We get criticized constantly. We, as customers of freaking Star Wars or any other pop culture thing right now, we are attacked by people when we criticize the material that we're provided. When we are attacked, even when we don't. We're attacked before they release the material. It's garbage, and it's high. Like I said, I mean, again, I'm glad that we do these streams. We might actually get to read this article at some point. I'm going to stop talking, though.
Well, it's actually a short article, so we will actually
we're most of the way through it.
Yeah. All right. So the Great Reset embraces such mottos as "you own nothing and you'll be happy." That's part of it.
That's not ominous at all.
No, it's actually you will own nothing, have no privacy, and you'll be happy. But,
you'll be a very content little cattle.
Yeah, the U.S. won't be the world's leading superpower, says Mark Morano, founder of the Climate Depot, a canny online news site which tracks climate alarmism and other issues. Yeah. So that's like another thing that they have. I read this Hill article, which kind of covers some of the stuff, and it's really interesting, and it's something that people definitely need to hear about with the whole thing with the Great Reset. It's like the more people that are aware of it, the more we can probably put the brakes on it.
Yeah, we absolutely have to put the brakes on it, but also we now have names. Remember, there are certain people right now that are making lists of people because they supported a particular candidate. Well, we have names too. All of these people who are supporting this concept of socializing everything and making it impossible for you to benefit from the sweat of your own brow, which is a problem.
Yeah, it's a huge problem.
And the removal of liberty and freedom.
When it really gets down to it, I mean, I think that this one world government that they're pushing for, the globalism ideals and stuff, is so appealing to a lot of our younger generations right now because they want to do nothing. And what they're proposing on sharing the wealth and making sure everybody gets a slice of everybody else's profits and all this other bullshit that I've seen through their websites and whatnot, I don't see capitalism in it anywhere other than the fact that there will be corporations that exist.
Yeah.
You know?
What ends up happening is that this makes the corporations
Socialism.
much more powerful.
Beyond control powerful.
Beyond control.
I mean, look at how big Disney already is.
Well, not just Disney. I mean, look at Amazon.
Yeah.
Look at what's going on with
Google.
Google right now. I mean, it's pretty insane.
Yep.
All right, let me
It's gonna get worse.
Let me get some super chats real quick. We have another comment. We'll get back to the article. Toxic Man flew for another 2 American greenbacks. Who is the asshat that downvoted this? Bots. I always get a downvote. Sometimes I'll get 2. It's not a huge issue, but yeah, I always find it funny whenever I get a downvote before.
I don't think I've had a single video on Geeks and Gamers that hasn't had like 4 downvotes in the first 3 seconds it's uploaded, which means I'm like, okay, you definitely didn't watch the video.
That's
you
what I
just
call hate fucking the dislike button.
Well, like what I love too is I'm willing to bet the person who clicked that downvote probably thought it was Jeremy's video. And like might not even know who I am, but like they instantly dislike my videos. But it's like,
How could they not know who you are? You are.
Oh,
Mark the
and
Cyborg.
like pretty much every video I make, I still get people like, "Hey, who's this guy?" I was like, "Okay."
Which is ridiculous because I knew who you were.
Thank you. I mean, I don't assume that people have to, but also I think a big part of it is that in my videos, I'm not in them. Like you hear my voice, but I usually like kind of keep the game that I'm reviewing kind of front and center, and I'm not on cam for it. So, which also I'll admit it's easier to edit if I just record my audio and not have to worry about syncing it with my video and then picking takes where I'm not only reading my script well, but I'm also not looking stupid or like out of focus. There's much more to consider if you're on cam.
Oh yeah,
and it helps you produce good content.
Yeah.
And I mean, if that's what you got to do, I mean, that's how you get out there and get known. I mean,
Well, yeah, no, you're 100% right, and you have to be hyper aware when you're on this platform of everything that you're doing at all times. So you end up when you're done with a stream being either super jazzed or totally exhausted or both. So if you've ever noticed that, you're like extra wired when you get done, especially when you hang out with comics, which means, then they're stuck playing Cyberpunk until 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. shows up and you're like, oh crap, I got to get up.
See, what I do is Culture Casino is like a wind-up toy, and I'm the one who like winds up all the way so tight it starts going crazy as it's bouncing around.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, Captain Spire for another 5 American pesos. Forgive my simplicity, but if we could collectively say, no, this COVID is crap, we're resuming normal activities, what can the government actually do? I think that's the easiest way to stand up against this kind of...
Yeah. Here, do you know the government only is granted power by those who believe in its power? That's it. If the populace says, eat a bag of dicks, then government has to eat a bag of dicks because we have no interest in supporting them any longer. It's why
things will happen if we collectively say no, and they say, well, we're basically deploying the military.
Can't do that.
You can't do that, but they could try, and they could deploy the National Guard, and I think you'll see more attempts of authoritarian measures, and as things ramp up, I think is when you're going to see the population really kind of rise up against stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and that's actually an interesting point because this is an interesting thing that happened today when Gary was on with Midnight's Edge. It's the same statement that exactly the same thing I would have said. Right now, there are counties in California that pretty much are flipping off Comrade Newsom and saying, we're not going to support, these lockdowns that you're trying to make, this confiscatory move that you're doing, this authoritarian maneuver you're trying to pull off, because we won't support it, because it violates our oath of office. Because every time you're sworn into an oath or an office of any sort in this country, you're swearing an oath. And usually that includes the Constitution of the United States, amongst other things, including the Constitution of your own state. It varies, of course, state to state, but most of these law enforcement officers won't enforce illegal orders. And
what happened in Virginia when they did those bans, those gun bans.
Yeah, they were like,
we had the sheriff saying, yeah, we're not going to enforce that.
Yeah, no, and you've got the entire state of Florida is like, F you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a situation that's just different. I mean, Texas, one of my favorite states in the whole United States. For the most part, outside of some really blue areas where I can't, dude, you let a bunch of blue people in, Comics. What the hell? Anyway,
they just showed up on my doorstep.
Do something about that. Anyway,
Well, the funny thing is that, as I stated, I'm a Californian too. I just didn't bring my politics with me, but because I was pretty fucking young when I moved here. Plus,
man, look,
my parents were Republicans, so
we need a new color. We need like a purple. I want to be the purple party, because I'm a mixture of red and blue. That's what I think libertarian. If I'm a libertarian, should be purple. We're like, you know what? We accept everybody, except you can't take away any form of freedom. So we like some of these progressive thoughts. We like some of these conservative thoughts, and the rest of your thoughts can get the fuck out of here because I don't want any part of them. Anyway, sorry.
It's all right. Toxic Man Flu for another $5. Listen as long as our congressmen get their fang bang bang. I'm good. Who am I to question our government as they put people in jail for thought?
Yeah.
Did you hear about the whole thing with Swalwell?
Yeah.
Of California, Mark?
No.
Basically, he had ties to a Chinese honeypot, which basically kind of helped him get into Congress, and he was put on what was that committee?
Wasn't that sort of similar to what was happening with Hunter Biden and Mulan? Like, are they Mulan actress?
Well, no, it might as well have been. No, he's a intelligence committee.
Yeah, intelligence committee.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they started investigating her, and she basically left the country.
Yeah,
and she's like, peace.
Yeah, she basically slept with like two governors. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Basically, what's kind of going on.
Fang.
Yeah, her name was
Fang.
So there was a bit of a joke about Fang Bang Bang.
Well, Fang is a medicinal root, so that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it is about getting your bang bang from your Fang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess.
Saying?
Yeah.
So wait, is Fang her name?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's her
Fang,
name.
Fang.
Huh.
Not Feng, which is the root for your bang bang.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
So a lot of things in Chinese.
I knew very little about that, apparently.
Spartan for last century. Have you ever seen an old Woody Allen movie called Sleeper? It's strangely prophetic these days. No, I haven't. I have to go check it out.
I did see that in like first year film school. I actually don't remember too much about it though. So I was smoking a lot of weed those days. There was a lot of too that, like, especially if it was ever like a movie that I'd seen before that I knew we were covering, I would just get like really, really high in between like the lecture portion and when we actually watched the movie. And I still graduated with honors, so that's how worthwhile humanities degrees are. I learned how to video edit.
Oh, don't feel bad. I have a humanities degree also.
Oh man, God, that's almost as good as it's really as good as a gender studies degree at this point.
Honestly, like at the time that I was in paramedic college, like basically trades college, learning how to do like paramedicine, I probably worked 10 times harder and learned 30 times more than I did in my 4-year film degree. So,
dude, have you ever noticed that your intense certification stuff is always way more challenging than anything you did in school?
Yeah, like I don't know, like university, like it's kind of, or university is what Canadians we call college, and you guys would probably call trade school community college, whereas we just would call trade school college, and we call university or what you guys call college, we call university.
Right.
But so I went to university for 4 years and like was working on being a filmmaker and stuff, and didn't really work out, or at least I wasn't making the kind of money that could really give me an adult life. So I was like, when I was like 27, I was like, okay, I'll screw this. And I just kind of stopped. And I was already in the military and the Army Reserve. So I just decided to transfer trades and become a medic. So they sent me to paramedic college. I learned how to do medicine. And like now that's what I do full time.
That's pretty handy though.
It was like so much more work to do the like 2-year paramedic program trade college that the university people that I would have gone to at the time would be like, oh yeah, you could just go to college and do one of those easy 2-year college programs and then just get like a blue collar job. But man, like having gone through both, I'm like, no, it's the ones going to trade school. They're the ones doing the harder work, unless you're in in pre-med or science or something. Like if you're doing some like hard kind of like, math or science stuff in university, I'm sure that's crazy. But if you're like writing essays about how Alien was actually a really good movie, like it's really not that hard to do. It's work. Like it's not like you can just snore through it, but it's it's not the kind of intense work that like learning actual skills and having to prove that you know them and can do them well is. So I don't know.
Especially, yeah, it's why you have like licensed electricians, because you want to make sure those guys know what they're doing so your house doesn't burn down.
Yeah,
It's doctors. You know, there's a certain kind of education you need to have, you know, in the world when you're going to do certain things. And like if somebody's going to work on my electric car, like on my Tesla, I absolutely want them to be like trained, you know, to work on my Tesla.
Jerk.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, let me get this real quick. It's pretty because it was covering your face, so I had to turn it off so I could scream at you anyway.
Okay.
Jeff for $4.99. Damn, I thought the stream was about the pornspiracy film, The Great Reset, or was that loose change?
We did talk about Pornhub a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we gave you some. We gave you a little.
Loose change, the 9/11 documentary, or
slapdash or something. I don't know.
I have no idea. All right, well, let's finish off with this article.
Let's finish it off, of course. After the porn reference, good job there.
That was completely accidental.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We found these phrases in a video produced by the World Economic Forum, WEF for short. The outrage, Mr. Morano says, is now coming from the greenest icon of the Christmas season. They're coming for your treats, folks. The Great Reset / Green New Deal / Build Back Better are all using COVID-19 and climate emergency to very clearly lay out your future. No private ownership of homes, cars, or even Christmas trees, Ms. Morano said. There's no way. I don't know if anyone wants to comment here or not before we jump.
I'm angry. Is that a comment?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the part where they.
There better be a punchline at the end of it. Yeah, there better be a punchline at the end of this. Because
there isn't.
No, fuck.
There's no way around the fact that Christmas has a large carbon footprint. For the traveling we do, to the presents we give, and the large amount of food we eat. But it is possible, at least, to reduce the negative impacts. With the climate change and carbon dioxide levels now major sources of concern, surely it is time to see what can be done to be friendlier to the environment. And the Christmas tree is a good place to start.
No, it's not.
Explained a research article featured at the WEF website, which came with a how-to recommendation. So yes, I mean, at some point in time, they're going to be coming for Christmas too.
I feel like you should have totally read that in such a soy-soaked voice.
Yeah,
it would have been so much better.
Oh yeah, you totally didn't get it. It's you have to do it with a special and bring the list.
We're talking about the negative.
Because I have the new mixer now.
I can do the SJW voice in real time.
Awesome.
That's
I'm
super.
But look, seriously. So here, okay. Yeah, the Christmas tree thing bothers me the most because, when we have these, rampant fires, that we get apparently which are totally not related to Antifa or anybody like that. What? But like where forests are burning down acre by acre by acre by thousands of acres, proper forestry management, which means, I don't know, cutting down trees, proper logging techniques. Those are kind of important, right? Because climate change, comes along when you don't do those kinds of things. Or am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Well, I think. Go ahead, Mark.
I think at a higher level, you got to think. Can you imagine being the person who's looking at the possible threats to the world environment as a whole, and is like, okay, if all these things are on a scale of severity from 1 to 10, Christmas trees. Like, is it even hitting a 2? Really?
No,
like,
it's not. It's a -4. It's a -4. You're doing
that's the thing. So like, it's like, should we not be working biggest problem to smallest problem here? Like, are we really at the point that we need to be worried about the carbon footprint of fucking Christmas trees?
No, Mark, because the top 10 biggest problems when it comes to pollution start with the word C, end with the word A, and have Heine in the middle. Because they are the greatest polluter in every single facet of every single form of production in the entire world.
Well, India is guilty too. It's not just China.
Who?
India.
Well, that's the thing, and like I'm on board with like pursuing like programs that will like increase the health of our planet long term, if you are targeting the larger problems and being like, how can we actually fix these things that are making a real difference? But to be like, well, I don't know, man, people are cutting down like maybe 2 or 3 trees per block every year. And like, I mean, some of them have fake trees that they just put in their basement and bring out every year. But
I think more
and
people
those
actually use fake trees more so than anything else.
I honestly, I
Yeah.
don't even remember the last time I saw a real tree, to be honest.
Dude,
like
okay,
in a house. Like,
But see,
Not
we
cut
have
down.
them here in my part of the country. There, you can go to a lot, pick out your tree, and all of that. Do you know where those are grown? At a Christmas tree farm.
yeah.
Do you know why? Because it's easier to do, it's easier to harvest, it's easiest to consistently rotate the crop of trees, and it's better for the environment and it's better for their profits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hell of a lot more cost effective to not have to run, 100 trucks up a mountain, and
Like,
and
just
then-
think of the logic, though, of being like, I care about the environment, so I want this person who runs this Christmas tree farm to shut down their business so that we can put another Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, that's
They're really dumb,
in a
but,
nutshell, that's what they're trying
but
to
it doesn't even stop there. Right now, we're talking about food. Food is a necessity to life on Earth, no matter what kind of creature you are, great and small. Okay, therefore, right now we're shutting down an entire country in the UK. They're shut down. They're going to realistically be in a position where they could have a famine caused by the government, not because there's an absence of food, but because there aren't people available to either harvest, distribute, or provide said food. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's frightening. And this is not as relevant as once was said when we started reading this article again. Toxic man flu for another soon-to-be $2 Chinese. Comix with the money shot on the article.
That's very true. You did lead right into it.
Yeah, I guess I did.
Yeah. I hope you brought some Kleenex.
Eat bugs, bigots.
Thank you, Mutant Man Hammer. Oh my god.
A buddy of mine, actually, who's like a special forces guy now, used to use cricket protein powder, like protein powder that was derived from crickets. He swears by this stuff.
Yeah, actually, what's really cool is you can actually feed crickets to crickets. You ground up crickets.
They're a self-sustaining species.
They're self-sustaining food supply.
Does kind of lead to something like hand,
Mad
foot,
cow
mouth, or
disease.
mad
Oh,
cow
you mean
disease.
like bovine spongiform, otherwise
Yeah.
known as mad cow? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same. I mean, you're not dealing with prions in that particular case, where you have that type of a problem. Speaking of which, we're going to be getting away from. Oh wow, do we want to dive down this road? Probably not. This is where my.
Once
go ahead.
we finish this, we can dive down.
All right, I can go off everywhere. You know that. It's like you set me up. Just
this next part's my favorite part.
All part of my plan. Yeah, this is pretty funny. The transportation, harvesting, and disposal of Christmas trees apparently contributes to their carbon footprint, or trunk print, as the case may be. World Economic Forum touts that Christmas trees are being rented over festive periods in a bid to stop millions from being landfilled. Which is funny considering like most major metropolitan areas try and recycle trees, turn them into mulch, stuff like that.
Who the fuck is renting a Christmas tree?
Oh no, yeah, exactly. The trees are
Who are you and why
taken
do you
home in a
exist?
pot. This is the
You're
great.
muted, Mark. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry,
Mark, there's a button there.
I said when they said you own nothing and you'll be happy, they meant nothing.
Yeah, they really meant nothing. Yeah.
Do you get extra insurance on the tree? Like, do you have, like, if it gets damaged, like, do they cover that? Or is there special policies we can take out for the trees in case they want to catch some airtime?
I have no idea.
What if we want more social credit points and we get one of those Charlie Brown Christmas trees, like the little neglected one in the corner that's like very weak and the needles are falling off and stuff? Do I get more social credit points for that?
Probably not. You'll lose points for having sympathy.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be all like, this guy likes things that are different. He needs to be punished.
So anyway, the trees are taken home in a pot and are returned in the same one. The farm then replants it until the following year, and that's basically the end of the article.
I mean,
then it goes into something else, and it's like I thought there was more to this. Anyway.
No, there really wasn't. This was this guy's political opinion wrapped in the WEF article.
Can you regrow the roots of a tree?
No, I'm pretty sure you irreparably damage the tree if you dig it up too many times.
I mean, a root ball can be restored in a certain sense, but look, let's talk more about like renting a tree.
If you're not destroying the root ball, yeah, you're pretty much good.
Yeah. So I'm mad. Okay, I'm mad because that's a dumb article, and I feel like we wasted Mark's time. You know. And,
No, it's okay. It was funny.
Well, we still have like another hour to talk about the rest of the stuff that we're talking about. Yeah, when I set off the culture casino bomb.
Okay, so here's really.
Taking that context, folks.
No. Okay, because here comes some out of context conversation. So, so there's this really cool thing that they're working on right now because of the study of cockroaches, by the way, which I don't want to eat, but apparently some people are going to force you to eat. Welcome to Cyberpunk 2077. But anyway, they are studying cockroaches because we are running out of the ability to use antibiotics because superbugs are so advanced that we're done. I mean, we've exhausted that science nearly, and so we're going to go forward using a prion science. So we're going to start utilizing things in reverse, kind of like we do with Botox. So you're going to start to see science around the idea of the same way that cockroaches are immune to everything. So you're going to start to see science around that very soon. So, and I can't explain it in depth because I haven't talked to my brother about it.
We're going to be using the CRISPR technology to splice cockroach DNA into our own.
You actually, you know what's not funny? That's not funny.
Scanner darkly much?
Can we start with spiders so we can climb walls?
No. There's going to the goal ultimately is to change the way we develop pharmaceutical science from a biological level. So it's essentially you're going to be combining pharmaceutical science with developmental biology. So be prepared.
Oh,
I know that sounds weird.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess if we get like some gecko splicing in there, maybe I can grow my leg back.
Would you really want to, Mark? You see, this is the weirdest thing. There's a certain element of uniqueness that comes with whatever we were handed in life during the course of our life. And does that eliminate the fact that we had to overcome whatever challenge that we had over the course of our life?
No, although I do miss kickboxing because if I kickbox with this leg, I'm gonna shatter someone's shin if we do roundhouse.
Oh, ow! Yeah, you're right.
I've got titanium and carbon fiber on that one, or I just have no leg. So
no, Mark, do you still practice kickboxing?
Oh no, I can't. That's the thing. I would hurt people.
No. If you, but just the elements of it, or do you feel like you're still?
I'll hit the heavy bag every now and then, but but the way my leg is secured, it's kind of not worth taking through its paces for doing things like throwing hard and fast kicks or hitting a bag.
Right.
It's like I would damage very expensive equipment before I'd really get too much out of it beyond just hopping on my assault bike and just doing some cardio.
No, the reason I ask is because it sounds like Mark in a fight would kick everybody's ass. So this is a dude I'm going to a bar with. That's what I wanted to find out.
I am still a pretty small guy. Like I'm 5'6" and only have one leg. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not terrible at fighting. Like I still do jujitsu at least pre-COVID. So I guess I haven't done jujitsu in almost a year, but I did prior.
I'm still doing my martial arts classes.
Oh really?
Yeah, dude, you're in the wrong country.
My place is open.
I'm in Canada, and also I work in healthcare. Technically, I mean it's military healthcare, but they sort of have a pretty tight leash on exactly what we can do. Even for us going to the gym, we have to book a time in a specific part of the gym 2 days prior. And the way the system works is the 2 days prior is always starting at midnight. So for me to work out on Monday, I have to make sure I set an alarm on Saturday night at midnight and then get on the website and book one of the 5 spots in the weight room. Or else I'm not going to be able to lift weights. And
Mark, my God, dude, you know what? You're one of the few people I would let into the United States. I'm just saying.
I'd have to talk expert girl into coming too. And I think
Oh no, she
likes-
is more than welcome. You, on the other hand, you just barely qualified, but she could come anytime.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's a pretty girl, of course. Like pretty girls get let in everywhere. I've gone to clubs, I know, but
Okay, well, you
no,
would
it's
know
more
that.
talking her into leaving that would be the hard part.
Well, what's up there? You have like snow
Yeah,
and
her family, I think, would be the biggest thing. Even
ah
my
man, there's
family, I
like
would miss
beavers
my
and
family.
bears and shit and cold. Why would you stay
That's
there?
true.
Well, if you're in Vancouver, there's mountain lions.
No, we're in Ontario. We're about an hour north of Toronto. So like,
Okay,
the-
so
the
yeah,
big
so I
city.
haven't heard anything that would compel me to stay.
Yeah, no, I mean, family is probably the biggest one. That's a
No,
hard
no,
one.
no, no. I really haven't heard anything that would compel me to stay.
I like my family though. Like I've got
all right.
a really cute little nephew, tiny niece.
Yeah, well, you know what? There's this cool thing. It's called FaceTime. Oh wait, or Zoom, or I mean, come on, right now, don't you virtually live everything? So coming to the States would be no
that's
different.
pretty-
Yeah.
right now, I don't think it would change a whole lot. But
Plus,
I'm hoping to see
our
them
military, our military would hire you just because you would be like, what do you call that? A novelty. It'd be awesome.
They'd probably get me doing pep talks and be like, "Yeah, you want to not end up like me? Learn how to do your CPR and then teach
There
them
you go.
first
There you
things."
go.
That's how I got this bad CPR. Lost my life.
It was a tragic CPR accident. Yeah. Toxic Man flew for another 2. What were we calling it?
Soon to be Chinese.
Soon to be
Chinese dollars.
yen.
Yeah, there we go. Remember the food cycle from the movie Snowpiercer? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I do. Have you seen Snowpiercer?
I did. I saw it around the time it first came out. The one where they're on the train, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of constantly
They,
moving.
they made a
with,
TV show out of it, but it's.
I
pretty-
heard the TV show's strange. It's like a procedural, like cop drama or something like that. It just takes
Yeah,
place
it's-
on the train.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but whatever. Counter 074 for 2 soon-to-be Chinese dollars.
Actually, no. Please go ahead, read this, and then I'm going to state something.
Okay, you still have to truck the rented tree home. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, it's true.
Not only that, then they have to turn around and truck it back. So isn't the carbon footprint now doubled? You dumbasses.
Also, like, I mean, who's to say that this person isn't just going to pick up a tree near like the grocery store that they're going to shop at?
Well, that's the
like,
other
why
thing.
is
Do you
it
realize?
necessarily a special trip?
Okay, this is a priceless comment right here. Toxic Man flew for another 2 soon-to-be Chinese dollars. So a Christmas tree is basically a hooker now.
Well, from what I know about pine trees, and I'm
worker, thank you
Canadian,
very
so I
much.
know a lot. You don't want to be treating it like a hooker.
Oh no! Oh God! Dude,
Put
get
yourself
back-
in a
do you remember this?
situation.
Do you remember the stream where we were banging on Steven for like loving on trees a little too much?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go there, but I
There-
could.
there is a word for that too. I think it's like
Oh, there is.
dendrophiliac.
We were talking about it. We went hours for that.
But yeah, I think if that's your
Never doing
kink,
that
I
again.
don't think pine trees are the ones you want to go with. Pine trees and cactuses are the ones you want to stay away from.
There's a really
man.
funny comment from Margie I had to find. It's because apparently she walked in like right in the middle of our comment
Dude,
about cockroaches.
wait a minute. Wait. Could I have a timeout? Well, go ahead, and then I have to say something.
Okay, so this is where I jump in, and you guys are talking about cockroaches. I worry about you.
Dude, okay, so look,
All
we literally are headed down the path towards Cyberpunk 2077 right now.
no shit.
I'm not kidding.
I believe you.
Yeah, we are essentially going to have corporations that run our lives. The goal is to not have people, but to have corpse. And you are essentially a commodity that's expendable. Are you excited about that? Does that make you feel good about your life? Because that's where you're headed under the World Economic Forum, the current pursuit that we have by the people that have been placed in power. I'm really being careful how I say things right now. Because YouTube's no joke when it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah.
But I just want to say this, and this is more important than anything I've already said, which is Sir TalksAlot has a shirt. Did you see he has a shirt? I don't even have a shirt.
Oh, nice.
Look at that.
Yeah, I got a whole Teespring full of merchandise now.
Wow.
I've actually made some sales already. So,
Nice.
to people or just family?
no, to people.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Actual people.
Yeah, actual people buying my stuff.
I'm
I
looking
gotta get
forward
myself
to
a
the
logo.
first corporate war between Microsoft and Apple.
What's that?
Dude, no kidding.
I don't know who I'd side with. I use Windows PCs, but an Apple phone. So I'd be like, oh, well.
How familiar are you with Cyberpunk, the world of Cyberpunk?
Yeah, the corporate wars. The fourth corporate war was the one where Johnny Silverhand, who's Keanu Reeves' character, ended up in Arasaka Tower.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like,
That would be it.
There's a lot of good lore there. Like, even if the game is a bit on the messy side right now, there's some good Cyberpunk 2020, Cyberpunk 2077 lore to dive into.
The lore's amazing.
Yeah.
When you read the shards, if you go through and you just read the shards as you go through the game, you're like, oh shit. It's like
I think it's really funny is that for whatever reason, input and output got flipped. So like when you go back and you see Johnny going after Arasaka Tower, because Rogue basically screams at him something about you're doing this because of that groupie input of yours, and then now they refer to
outputs as
they refer women as output. Yeah. So in game lore, originally input is your girlfriend, output your boyfriend. But now it's been flipped in the future, which I think is kind of funny. Your output is a woman and input is a man.
And you know what? I didn't even care. But what's really cool is all the lore.
It shows like the whole thing with like evolution of slang.
Yeah, no, and it's an amazing thing. I don't care what anybody says. We can talk about this game forever at the end of the stream, but yeah. So, Sir TalksAlot, I want to talk more about your merchandise because I can take this way farther off of topic. Faster than anybody in history of man. So far, the only person I've sold stuff to is myself as samples. So, how did you actually get sales? Because I'm just curious.
I got people to like me, and I said I had T-shirts, and they bought them.
Okay,
that's literally all the effort I put into it.
I must
I made T-shirts, and went, look, I made a T-shirt, and they were like, "I'm buying it."
I must have skipped the part where people like me.
You have 1,000 subs, don't you?
Almost 1,500. Except that here's the thing: I get close to 1,500, and YouTube says, "Nah, fuck you." 50 less.
Dude,
and
have
then
you seen how much they're doing that to people now?
Dude, it's a daily raping. Wow, I said that out loud. Now we're
extra demonetized.
Damn it.
Suck. Are we demonetized?
Oh, we were limited before. I'm sure that took us like someplace else.
I'm surprised because normally we haven't.
Yeah.
This is like the first time in a while.
It was me. I said an S word. I said other things, and then I insinuated the government and YouTube were both bad. That's my problem. Is I say words.
Are they watching that closely? That like they could just.
Dude, we've had people from YouTube in the stream killing comments as we go.
Wow.
And not like a long time ago. Yeah.
Not a mod.
Hello, YouTube
not a mod.
people. I marked this out.
Okay, so I only have 123 subs on my channel, and they literally delete 3/4 of the comments that are supposed to go on my stuff without my being able to approve them. I get the notification that it shows up. I go in and it says this isn't there anymore.
Do you actually? But wait. So have you looked at how your filters are established in your channel?
I have them open.
Okay, I'm open too, but I don't use bad words on my channel, and I have good hair, so maybe I get a little leeway. I don't know.
Well, the Gay Rascal will post some stuff that isn't even as risque as he can get.
Yeah, he does amazing stuff on my channel. Yeah, I love the Gay Rascal.
They'll delete it, and like I'll see parts of I'll see the comment in my notifications, and I'm like, that's not that bad, but YouTube decided it's not allowed to be on here. Meh. And I'm like, I'm not even that big. What's wrong with you, motherfuckers?
So what is it? Fox is coming out with an article saying moderators are getting red pilled.
That's a load of kapapui.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
How are they getting red pilled?
I guess by watching content.
Well, here's the thing. All you have to do is listen to us for 10 minutes and realize, oh shit. Because that's really, it only takes 10 minutes to get to the oh shit moment. Because every once in a while, Comix says something brilliant, and we all go, "Oh shit!"
Really? When is that?
Yeah, mostly. It happens. And then there's Mark, who's ignoring us and like doing something else right now.
No, sorry, I was typing a thing on in another.
Oh, you're fine, dude. I'm teasing you.
I'm doing my best to multitask. I still got.
It's all good.
Say hi to Jeremy for me while you're.
I only muted so that you guys wouldn't hear my keyboard clicking.
No.
It sounds like this.
So it could be worse. It could be like Jeremy, like right in the middle of uploading a video during a stream.
I have two. That's the weird, and I do that too. By the way, while we got kicked off, or while we were starting, I was uploading Scott's re-rendered credits for his members because I do all of his video credits and stuff like that. So, but and he's not fucking here.
Oh yeah, that bastard.
What a dick.
What a dick. Oh, this reminds me. Okay, so check this out. I got this today. Somebody sent me a T-shirt. I forgot to do this at the beginning of the video.
Is it one of mine?
It says,
"Pew pew."
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Hey,
dude. Speaking of which, Perry Chan is a godsend to the community. What an amazing human being,
dude. He is amazing.
God dang. You know what? Oh shit! I'm gonna send you a Twitter. I'll be back in a second.
All right, let me get this super chat then. So, Toxic Man Food for another 5 soon-to-be Chinese American dollars. Kurtzman made it with a tree, and that is where Mikey's spot came from. If only that were the case. Toxic Man flew for another soon-to-be 5 Chinese dollars. Almost like Canadian again for some reason. It's probably because I get a lot of Canadian dollars.
It's because of me. It's my influence. I'm slowly turning you all Canadian.
I've been a comics fan for over a year, and I missed his brilliant moment. Damn it! Yeah, that's my thought too, man. It's like,
dude, every 10 minutes he says something brilliant, and he doesn't even know it, and it's amazing. Like he made this amazing porn reference without even meaning to. It was incredible. I loved it. He spreads stuff around like a sprinkler,
like a disease.
No, or a Bukkake Fest, whatever. But it's out there. It gets there. It hits you in the face.
But I was hooked on comics from the moment I heard him say "get fucked."
Get fucked. Yeah,
dude. You know what? And of course, rules for thee, but not for me.
Okay, so Margie is the one who made the T-shirt. That's cool. That was me.
Oh. Nice.
Wasn't there a note? I had that made specially for you. Well, thank you very much. No, let me check the packaging.
Oh, Margie, that's so awesome, dude. Margie's extra special in the community and does amazing things for so many people, and it's just lovely, just lovely.
Yeah, I'll have to check the packaging again, Margie. When I opened it, I didn't see it, but I'll check.
Yeah. Hey, Comics, I sent you a Twitter or forwarded you a Twitter, the thing with the stuff, with the thing.
A thing?
With the thing.
The Tulsi Gabbard thing?
You know the thing, yeah.
Okay.
Just check it out before you do anything with it. But I just thought you'd find it fascinating. Because here's the weirdest part. I never thought I would actually pay attention to anything she ever said. So there you are.
So as a newcomer, why? I ask. Because she seems like a decent person. But I've never actually paid attention to this stuff. So.
A lot of it comes down to just the way that she's so aggressively on one. This is the problem with being libertarian. I will side with you 50% of the time. I can't put myself in a position where I can side with her 50% of the time. So that influences my opinion of
it makes sense.
Anyway.
Do you want me to share this, or I
don't care. It's up to you. It's just I thought it was an interesting swing because she's not wrong. It's a terribly offensive position that we're in.
Okay, she says $600 is a slap in the face to every American struggling due to the pandemic. You deserve better. I voted against the 5,539 page spending bill that gave billions to corporate interests, the military-industrial complex, and other countries, leaving crumbs for you who need help most.
Argue with that.
I love Tulsi.
Man, I have a lot of respect for her.
Mark, I understand.
Pages.
5,593 pages. Yeah, the bill is full of total. I think I talked about some of it. It's completely garbage.
That is kind of the thing with a lot of bill proposals, though, that they will be overly verbose, almost in hopes that people don't actually read them, that end up having to vote on them.
No, absolutely.
So they skim over, they get the Cliff's Notes or like the bullet points, and then they vote on the bullet points without actually reading the details.
And those specific bullet points are perfectly framed to sell whatever ideas they're up for.
Of course, but okay, so I'm going to ask each of you a question, or all of you a question, I guess, simultaneously, and you can answer if you choose to. Who writes the bill?
Usually a lobbyist, I think, or someone involved in special interest, or an assistant.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
System to say. Yeah, no.
Well, it happens. It happens. It's the same in your country, Mark. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's not. It's not the politicians. It's not. Yeah, it's not the sponsor of the bill. It's not the individual politicians that are credited with writing the bill. It is the special interests and the lobbyist groups that write the bill. So they present, okay, these are the things that are going to happen. They might have a lawyer look over it, but for the most part, like Sir TalksAlot says, it's not the politician. It is a special interest, and all they're doing is giving you a bullet point of happy good news and not actually the bullshit behind it, which is the bailout of Hollywood, the bailout of the cultural center that we don't want to have, that nobody can go to, like Mark said earlier. There's all of these other things that come along with this giant heaping pile of shit that's 5,593 pages, when you only needed 2 pages to write this fucking bill. You know what this bill was? It was, let's give the American people money because we have fucked them for 9 straight months.
Yeah, and they think $600, $600 fucking dollars is going to make up for all the shit that we've been through this year. It's like, bro, if you had to put a price tag on that, you're going to add 6 more zeros to that before I'm comfortable trusting your ass.
Well, here's the thing too.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm actually going to try to fix it.
Do have an issue with the idea of the stimulus, mainly because it goes back to the whole thing with the government is merely just printing money, and this is not necessarily going to help.
They're not printing money. It's Comix, you know better than that. Dude, who's printing money?
The government?
No, the Federal Reserve is printing money.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve. That's right. The Federal Reserve is a private entity.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. Yes. Thank you. Now now we go. Now we're here.
Now we're there. So on top of that is like the shutdowns. What was they said? 2 weeks to flatten the curve. That's what we've been hearing.
Yeah, 14 days. 14 days.
That's what we heard in February.
Yeah, it's been 10 months to 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the weirdest thing. So they're very angry with the Orange Ban. The Orange Ban wanted to close the country in December and January. In fact, in January, he's like, hey, let's close the country. And they're like, no, you can't do that. That's, racist, or amongst other things. And so we didn't. And so we ended up with spread in various places. Now, there's an argument to be made that the thing was already here back in October, even possibly before that. But beyond that, we didn't need to introduce more people that were spreading it around the country. And of course, we still don't know the extent to which it is spreading across Red China, because we get about as reliable information from them as our own news media. So I have a real problem with this. The very moment that we allowed foreign investment into certain aspects and parts of our infrastructure, we were compromised. And the reason I say that is because China's invested in our media corporations, our cultural centers, et cetera, and that has not helped us in any way.
There's a YouTube channel that Tim Pool had on Friday, which is called China Uncensored. And I've been meaning to check them out, but man, they had some really interesting things to say.
Well, look, when you show videos of people being executed in the street for having COVID, when you show videos of concentration camps with Uyghur Muslims and others, not just Uyghurs but others,
the one I always thought was BS or was maybe being overinflated was the whole thing with the organ harvesting. But apparently that's not overblown. That's not overblown, and that's what they're trying to introduce in every single country around the world, because that's essentially what WEF is going to do. Most people don't realize change is incremental. The Chinese have been at this game for hundreds and hundreds of years to try to dominate the entire world. They'll tell you all about it all day long. The people in education are, well aware of the fact that the money that they're taking and the things that they're compromising will eventually lead to whatever it is that China's pursuing. If we don't accept that China is not our friend, I can't help you. We were beginning to win the trade war. We are not going to win the trade war for the next 4 years. Ooh. I promise you. Yeah. So, Captain Spire, for yet another 2 American pesos, you want to bet will be taxed 400% for the stimulus.
No, of course. Of course. Hey, here's the
right.
Most people don't understand. Do you know where does money come from?
The Federal Reserve.
Well, yeah, that's right. And the Federal Reserve is what again?
It's a private entity.
That's right. And do they charge anybody for their services?
I think they do.
Yeah, the federal government. Yeah, and do you know who they also charge interest to?
That I don't know.
The federal government. And so here's
the federal government. Why would I guess it again?
Well, because it's the same thing. So this is the weirdest. We're in the weirdest place in the world in that we have an illegal entity that is lording our financial system over us. Someday we'll do that. We're going to have to do that stream someday. I'm going to send you everything I've got on all of that because it makes me extra crazy. And I hate this. I hate this so much. We don't teach civics. We don't teach any form of government in education anymore. You don't get that in high school. You don't get it even at a college level. You get these weird theory classes on stuff that really don't help you. Going forward, most people don't understand, and this is really the funny thing when you have CNN trying to teach the Electoral College to the most of America because they didn't freaking get it in school. Are you freaking kidding me? You got that in 7th and 8th grade. You're really stupid if you didn't really understand how the government works in this country. We're a representative republic. We are not a mob-ruled democracy like most of these whack job kids were raised to believe that we were going to be or should be. So
they think we're a democracy, not realizing we're a representative republic.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I'm saying, and that makes me bananas, man. I mean, we are a federalist system. We are not. Oh man, please don't get me started. We could go for an hour.
So when would you say that they stopped actually teaching civics properly?
94, 92, somewhere in there, somewhere between 92 and 94.
So after I graduated from high school,
probably.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I don't remember ever actually getting any government or ethics classes, not even as an elective until I was in high school. Yeah, and then by the time I was in high school, it was an elective, only an elective.
It wasn't elective; it was required. It was like 2 classes besides like history you were required to take.
Yeah, in middle school,
that was politics and economics. Those are 2 separate classes.
Yeah. Yeah, government and economics were the 2 classes that you were supposed to be introduced
to. It wasn't politics; it was government.
Yeah, government.
Yeah, my high school didn't even offer those until they were electives in like junior year.
Yeah, I'm not sure we had them either. Then again, like I'm Canadian, so mine would.
Yeah. No. We know there's only 30 million of you. It's fine.
Hey, Eric, I have played Broforce. It's pretty awesome.
No. Dude, is that Apollo?
What?
Is it? Well, there's only 2 people that say play Broforce. It's like Apollo
Patriot. It's probably Eric Maldonado Jr.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Was it Eric? Okay, all right. Okay.
I have, man. It's a fun game. I love playing Broforce.
Jeremy
speaking of which,
Jeremy was avoiding playing it forever.
Why?
I had a question. This is a fortuitous moment. So there's this weird game that I just downloaded because Ords wanted to play it. And if you know who Ords board is, then that's awesome. And if you don't, then shame on you. It is called Champions Online. So apparently I'm going to start playing Champions Online on Ords' gaming streams. Kind of concerned about that.
Oh, dude, it's like I vaguely remember Champions Online.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
using the hero system.
rules? Yeah, it's City of Heroes.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay,
it's City of Heroes. Okay.
I'm just looking at it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the City of Heroes logo.
Yeah, and so we're going to start playing that on the gaming stream. So if you guys want to laugh your butts off on Sundays, in fact, I guess multiple people can play. So if you know Ords, reach out because it sounds like we're going to get that kicked off. So I had no idea what it was. So, but what's really cool is Script Doctor made some mock-ups of characters that look like us. So there's an Ords character and a mean character. That's freaking awesome. So anyway, so I think it'll be cool. So, but I was wondering if Mark, is that an okay game? Have you touched it?
I don't know. No, I haven't played. I tend to not play a lot of MMOs, massively multiplayer online RPGs. So like World of Warcraft, it looks like Champions from what I'm seeing of it. If it's anything like City of Heroes or even Star Wars: The Old Republic, Final Fantasy 14, mostly because the time commitment that they involve is very extreme, like to the point that especially for me, I am almost at the point where I have trouble enjoying a video game that I'm playing because I need to keep pace with like getting through about 3 games a month in order to have 3 reviews, because I like the deal I have with Jeremy is I make 1 video a week, so I have to do usually 3 game reviews and then 1 new release video. It's just like the new releases coming up for the month. So I have to sometimes be very careful if I'm going to play a longer game, to make sure that I only pick one that might be a game that I'm covering 2 months from now, and that I mix it with some shorter games that I can knock out quickly and do decent reviews. Because I also don't want to just do the game journalist thing where I like throw something on easy mode, fly through it, and then shit out 2,000 words and call it.
Oh no, dude, I feel
like,
you. Yeah.
I've sort of been in a situation where, because this isn't my career, the only thing I really have as far as like satisfaction goes from it is knowing that I made like a good video that actually has like worthwhile observations. But like, I guess, long story short, having to play a game like Final Fantasy 14, for example, where I know I'm going to have to dump like 400 hours into it to really get the full experience. I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I can like physically do that. Like,
Well,
I have to give up sleep.
I have years of life invested in World of Warcraft, so I know what you're talking about.
I honestly, I stopped playing when it was still like the first release. I played for like about a couple months.
Really?
And I was like, it's like I'm sinking way too much time in this game.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what happened.
And I stopped playing. It's kind of the same thing with.
Wow, I literally, I lost years of my life, dude. I don't know how you quit. It was like Evercrack. And
no, that was the joke behind it, right? It was Evercrack, and
I think EverQuest was the
it was Evercrack, and then EverQuest was Evercrack, but then WoW was way worse than Evercrack.
World of Warcraft was just EverQuest.
Heroin straight to the vein.
World of Warcraft was EverQuest with good gameplay, so it made it so that it was even more addictive. But I think actually I talked about this on the last stream I was on with Culture, where I quit World of Warcraft because me and my high school girlfriend, who we dated from when I was 17 to 22, we broke up in like my last year of university. And in the time that I was kind of getting over her, I started playing World of Warcraft, and I played for 3 months. And then I realized that in my last year of university, when I was around like a ton of good-looking single girls that were out at school, I spent 3 months interacting with 0 women. And I was like, oh, I got to stop playing World of Warcraft. That's when I quit WoW, and I haven't played it since. I hear it's great, and it looks awesome. I like the universe too, but
yeah, I had a friend who lost his wife. She met some dude in game, divorced him, and moved in with him. Yeah,
that's rough.
Wow,
that's pretty fucked up. Yeah. Let me get the super chat real quick. Captain Spire for another Chinese American dollar. Remember when the first COVID was on the Dang cruise liner? Where did they send the people? They sent them to San Antonio. That's where they sent them. Right here to the freaking middle of America in Omaha. Oh, I guess Omaha too, but yeah, they sent them to San Antonio because we have a lot of military hospitals.
Yeah, infectious disease centers. Yeah, they send them to places with infectious disease centers. We did a lot of really dumb stuff, and the state of New York did the most dumb stuff. So yeah.
Did you hear that they're prioritizing the vaccine for nursing homes now? Like that's a good idea.
Well, I mean, they are sort of the ones that I guess stand to die the most, and honestly, I think that. Assuming the vaccine's effective, is that would help at least the exodus of staff that you've been having at those places. Because actually the deployments that we've gone on, not me personally, actually, I ended up staying at the clinic while a bunch of the other people I was working with got deployed on this operation that we called Op Laser, which was essentially just military medics being deployed to long-term care centers across the country, because all the PSWs, personal support workers, were just quitting because they make very little money. Like they get, it's Canadian money, so the translations might not work out, but they make slightly over minimum wage to be like carting around old people, lifting them in and out of tubs, like cleaning poop and stuff like that. So once you throw a pandemic into the mix, it's like, okay, is this job worth that? No. So they'd be quitting like crazy. And our government actually called in the military to like buff staffing there. So I see how it's like, okay, well, maybe those are the people that are sort of in the situation where they're least likely to be able to resume a normal life. But at the same time, that's like a disease vector center. So, because they spread really quickly there, and a lot of those places are in pretty bad shape. Like from the stories that I've just heard from like my coworkers and friends, those places are having a bit of a rough go. So if the vaccine actually is like effective and can do something to make those places even not safer for the residents there, but safer for the employees, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad idea.
Well, no, I absolutely hope that it is actually turns out to be a good thing. But the track record that I've seen with this stuff, like as far as them saying it's working, we have healthy people having severe reactions to it. We have people with fully functional immune systems showing, signs of degradation in certain areas. Like they're like, oh, well, now I feel like absolutely sick. And, then you run into the same problem that you'd run into with the flu vaccines, where occasionally you're going to get the flu from the vaccine.
Yeah, but that's not the way this works. This is an
RNA vaccine.
Yeah, it's an RNA suspension, and so it's a little bit different. But your body's going to react to that because it's RNA injected into you. That's not your own. There's going to be some physiological effects. But Mark, I've learned something very valuable about Canada. Your government does not value your military.
I mean, I guess I can't really comment on that too specifically because otherwise it might come off as an official statement.
Back on you, but the fact that they're willing to, send the military people to go wipe up poop and carry people around in those circumstances when you should have better things to do is interesting.
Theoretically, yes, but I guess like at a certain point, like we're trained in like the care for like patients and the elderly like that. So like we are medical professionals, at least specifically the med techs.
No,
like
I'm not saying
like infantry guys, but
okay. So you're referring specifically to the medical care folks.
Yeah, like literally people.
Oh, I'm thinking, oh shit. Well, they're just send infantrymen to go carry old people around. I'm like,
I think that there were other units deployed on like general duties doing other things, but at least for the long-term care centers, that's what. My trade, medtech, was deployed to do.
So it's familiar. So it's similar to what they did with the medical ships that they located in New York that the governor and the mayor refused to use, or used in a limited capacity.
Very possibly, yeah. Like my trade actually can be deployed onto ships as well. I've never really wanted to do it, just because I don't know, being on a boat.
Well, this is interesting. Tia Martin says, "I have vaccine priority 1C. Other essential workers legal."
Wow, Tia Martin, that's cool.
I have no idea what that means.
my brother's vaccination is because of he's very important. He is getting his on the 27th in just a few days.
Yeah, my wife's neurologist told her don't get the vaccine.
I'm probably not going to have a choice. That's one of those things about working in healthcare. Like, it may just be, and especially working in the military, it might be that like I'd have to.
Well, my wife actually has a neurological disorder, which is the reason why her doctor said not to take it.
That, and you know what, Mark, just get used to the idea of not having a choice going forward.
I mean, I'm in the military.
No, but it could get worse. It could get far worse. I mean, you're in Canada. It could get way, way worse. I'm just saying.
That's true. Well, I mean, like, I think that Canada, at least our military, do a pretty good job of making us, I don't know, like relatively like free and independent and being able to do for the most part what we want. But like, I mean, there is still things like I do have to like watch what I say like on a stream talking about political issues, because ultimately, while like, I mean, you can do the Twitter bio cop out that people have where it's like all opinions are my own, even though I work for Screen Junkies or whatever. But it's like, yeah, okay, that's gonna work. You're not at all associated with your thing. But ultimately, if I say something that's like super spicy and like a political hot take or something about the prime minister, there are people who can interpret that as like the headline would be Canadian soldier says blank And then, so.
Oh
Yeah.
no, please don't ever compromise yourself when it comes to that. No, I wouldn't suggest that. No.
So we're not like specifically told you can't talk about blank, but it is like, hey, like if you're going to be doing any public speaking, be aware of what your profession is and like how you might be interpreted. So if I ever seem like I'm tiptoeing around issues,
you already warned me beforehand about that.
Yeah, and please don't worry about it because I would never want you to be in trouble. So I want Sir TalksAlot to be in trouble. I don't care.
As much as I would prefer probably to be like a private citizen with like a really solid job that I genuinely love. I do enjoy my career.
Perfect.
I get paid well enough to like pay the bills, so like don't want to jeopardize that.
Yeah. Plus X-ray girl. So you forgot the most important part.
Well, the other thing too is I imagine that the Canadians don't exactly use their military as experimental subjects like they have in the United States.
I mean, I guess you could argue I've got a pretty experimental leg.
Well, hey, well, look, I mean, there's a lot of German similarities in the States right now.
Yeah, there is.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to get everybody in trouble.
All right.
I'm going to stop talking.
You're making Mark uncomfortable.
No, it's okay.
Well, no, it's really easy to make Mark uncomfortable. We just have to talk about X-Ray Girl. Hey, are you gonna marry X-Ray Girl?
She's sleeping 2 rooms over, right?
Are you gonna marry X-Ray Girl?
Does that make you uncomfortable? We'll see. Spoiler alert. I don't know.
Oh, spoiler alert.
To be determined on a later episode.
Oh, okay, all right. I was just kidding.
Now you're really making me uncomfortable.
Hey, Comics. Are you gonna marry your wife?
I'm already married to her.
Oh yeah. Huh.
That's why she's my wife.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Do one of those vow renewal ceremonies. Let's just get married again for shits.
You know what? Here's the weirdest thing. We've talked about like doing the thing again, but that won't happen because we can't travel. I was supposed to have my 50th birthday. I'm so freaking pissed off. My 50th birthday was supposed to be an Asian grand tour, which would have included Japan and China and all the other wonderful parts of Asia. I would have got to see the Great Wall and, of course, many Disney parks, which are very important, and other really cool stuff like that. And you know what I didn't get to do for my 50th birthday in 2020, which I'm
any of it.
Yeah,
leave the state.
You know what I got to do though? I got to replace my computer with this behemoth that's sitting in front of me.
That's always a good feeling.
That's right.
The thing you have to do though is load up a game that you played like 5 years ago that you really loved, and then just max out the settings, and you're just gonna be like, oh man. It's the best feeling in the world because like new games look great, but games that you played a few years ago that you're now
are
running
amazing
on new hardware,
I know.
That's when it really hits you that you're like, man, I don't remember this game looking anywhere close to this good.
No, it is bad news, man. When I threw WoW on there at full blown, and I was like, holy cow, that looks amazeballs. See, and I even talk like the kids.
Yeah, it was
Nobody
good.
laughed.
Man.
It's that Steve Buscemi meme of you holding the skateboard. Hey, kids.
Yeah. Hey, fellow kids.
Yeah, you can try to be like Paul Rudd. Did you see his the video he did put out back in a little bit for Cuomo?
I don't even know who
what do you
Paul
do?
Rudd is.
Paul Rudd's Ant-Man.
Yeah.
No, I really don't know who that is.
Okay. Did you see that shit video that he did where he was all like, hey, he was trying to act all cool and stuff, and at the end he had this like supposed blow up where he's like, oh, wear your mask, it's people are dying and all this stuff, and I'm like, you are the biggest fucking tool ever. Like, he's the village idiot of the Avengers.
Honestly, even when celebrities like are preaching my political opinions, it still really bothers me. I'm just like, oh my God, just stop.
Wait a minute, Mark. You have political opinions?
I do. I just don't really talk about them all that
Oh, okay,
much.
good.
The only thing that I will
why
specifically
we're
say, because Ryan Kindle and Lethal Lightning have made it a meme that I'm a communist. I am not a communist. I'm very strictly, very explicitly anti-communist, and that's the only political opinion that I'm going to like expressly state at all times.
Okay, so wait. So for clarity, because I knew this was going to come up because you were here. So for the record, you're not a communist?
Not a communist. No.
Okay, all right, just making sure. I'd heard things.
Disappointed in you, Mark.
You heard things from like Ryan, and he's just talking shit because I'm Canadian, and he thinks Canada's socialist.
Dude, they are. You are.
No, we're
Have you
not.
seen? You elected this dude, this premier guy, the dude with the,
You can't
the
talk
face.
about it, man. You can't talk about it. Remember.
You put this
yeah.
22-year-old in charge of your country.
Well, okay,
that can't even get a fist bump from freaking Winnie the Pooh guy in a freaking parliament. Still one of the best fucking memes I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not going to say bad things about the prime minister, but what I will say that I think will please the libertarians in the audience here is that he did legalize marijuana for us. So, I mean, not all bad. And including military members. And not only that, in the same month, we got the ability, we have these things called CAN 4Gens, which are Canadian Forces General Orders. They're essentially just orders that need to be obeyed by every single unit across the entire military. We got 3 CAN 4Gens in October of 2018. The Beard 4Gen, which is the reason I have a beard, because prior to October 2018, if you're in the Army, the only facial hair you can have is a mustache. You can't have a beard. We got the Boot 4Gen, which doesn't really make as much of a difference for me because I'm not boot shopping very often. But instead of having issue boots, they changed the system so that we could buy our own boots and then claim the cash back up to a certain amount, but the amount's like stupid expensive. I think it's like $300 or something like that. So you can get like nice boots. And we got the Weed 4Gen, which is basically our exact rules and restrictions behind using cannabis in the Canadian Forces. And the laws were shockingly liberal. Like, I was just like, wow. I was like, those are like not very strict rules at all. It's pretty much just no using cannabis 8 hours before a normal workday, 24 hours before working in the field, so like being around firearms or anything like that. Or I think it's 28 days before being aircrew if you're like a fighter pilot or something like that. But like, I mean, there's not too many of them in the military.
No, you guys like have 12 people in your Air Force, so that you're good.
Yeah, but like, I mean, so those guys are in a bit of a bad spot. But I was like, man, seriously?
Yeah, well,
so,
you know what? Those 12 dudes are bumming. That's all I gotta say.
I honestly thought the rule was going to be something like, okay, on Friday evenings you can smoke weed, but that's pretty much it because you need 48 hours
on the Sabbath
to recover.
On the Sabbath, you can smoke your weed.
No, but like, I mean, theoretically, like, there's people in the Canadian military right now that just like get high every night, and like,
so Count 074 for $5 says, contrary to popular belief, most libertarians, small L, don't think legalizing pot is that massive of an issue.
Well, I mean,
it's.
I think the idea though behind like a libertarian stance on drugs is that like, why is it the government's business if you're deciding to intoxicate yourself with anything?
There's a point at which so the libertarian philosophy, at least as the easiest way to explain it, is explained the same way by a lot of people. My right to swing my fist ends at the tip of your nose. That's probably the best way. It's the best way I've ever been able to explain it to my friends. Yeah. And
it means you can't smoke meth and then stab somebody, but you can smoke meth.
Well, maybe, possibly. But here's a problem with that. Meth leaves a residual problem behind in its production and its use. And so there are certain things.
People don't know that.
Well, right. I mean, red phosphorus will burn right through you. And so you create a toxic hazard when you produce it, since it's produced illegally primarily. Methamphetamine in most states, most of its I'm going to say chemical states, is toxic in almost every way. So essentially the production of poison is fine, but the fact that it can actually cause harm to others is where you start to create problems. So there can be an argument made by libertarians
against something like meth. Okay, maybe meth was the bad example.
No, but marijuana. Marijuana is a good argument. Heroin is okay, not heroin. Opium is okay.
I'm jumping the super chat because I got to. Manu is saying, "Wait, red phosphorus is real."
I'm not a chemist. I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I know white phosphorus is, but that's because.
You know what? I think I probably misspoke. Hang on.
But anyway, like my point is theoretically, like taking the libertarian stance on something like a drug, like let's use cannabis because it's easier, is that you could be very anti-cannabis for yourself, But the libertarian stance would be like, yeah, but I don't care.
Let
if you
let
use
people make their
cannabis.
decision.
Yeah, like it doesn't really affect me if you've decided that tonight you're
No.
going to get high and play Cyberpunk. Like that,
No.
that's not really
No.
hurting your next door neighbor.
Yeah, no.
Like I guess unless if you're in an apartment and smoking, I guess maybe the
Right. No. Yeah, and I misspoke. It's white phosphorus. You're right. No, it's caustic. It's incredibly caustic. But beyond that, the production methodology for cannabis cannabis. The production methodology for methamphetamine is very, very toxic, and so it's a representative public health hazard that can't be overcome. Whereas heroin or marijuana, it's a completely different thing. So there we go.
And like I wasn't
corrected
trying
myself
to advocate for
and-
meth. I just
and-
I wanted to
and-
use it. Like, I want to make that very clear. Also,
You don't want to
I
use
just
meth.
meant that,
We,
like,
we get what you mean, dude.
yeah, like the idea
No,
that
and I had to correct myself simultaneously because I don't like being wrong. But no, and red phosphorus is real also. But yeah,
Real quick, I want to get this. Toxic Man Flu for 2 American pesos. Hey,
Oh,
Comix,
shit.
I got a Smith and Wesson's. God damn it, Smith and Wesson 1911 A1 for Christmas.
I have a
Merry
much
Christmas,
cheaper
dude!
one.
Holy cow!
Very nice.
I've got a Filipino-made Arms Core 1911 45 ACP. I like shooting it though; it's nice.
Yeah,
I have a 9mm 1911. It's
I have-
a 6 hour 1911 TAC Ops, which is pretty fucking sweet.
So wait, so just for fun, because I like to have just for fun questions. What is the clunkiest gun that you own?
A Glock.
Mine?
No way! The Glock is the best gun.
No, I own one that's way shittier and more gaudy than that. I have a Taurus 8-round revolver 357.
Oh my
It's gigantic.
god!
The clunkiest gun would be a high point, but
I own the high
tried
point
shooting-
C9.
You own a high point.
High
You
point
know,
C9. Yep.
You
It
are
is.
more likely to beat somebody to death than actually hit.
With that,
Oh, I
just
know.
throw it
especially
at
the
him.
weight on it. Yeah. Oh, I know. There's a reason it's not my only
clunkiest-
gun.
The clunkiest gun is one that my sister bought that I ended up with, which is a Las Vegas Arms 9mm, and it is as bad as it sounds.
So we've got a Taurus and a high. Wait, sorry. What's the name of the one again? The high arms.
High point?
High point.
Yeah, that's it.
They
I
are
remember
up
hearing
as
that as being
sin.
like that's like a
Okay,
meme,
so-
terrible gun.
Dude, I will
just-
go get.
Okay.
No, wait, we'll probably get pulled off the air if I go get the Las Vegas Arms. But this thing will bite you just if you look at it. So if you fire the gun, be prepared
Dude.
to lose the webbing off your thumb. It is
When-
terrible.
When I got my high point, like I just needed something for home defense. I didn't have a lot of money, and I was like, "Yo, what do you got?" And he's like, "You can take. It's $180."
That's
I'm like,
pretty
"Sweet, is it a used gun?" He's like, "No, that's brand new, $180." I'm like, "All right." Red flag. I'm like, "Okay, what do I need to know about this gun?" They're like, "Well, to pull it apart, you need a punch. So you have to lock the slide in place and then take a 8-inch punch and then punch out this pin and then pull it apart." And I'm like, "Okay, does it fire correctly?" They're like, "Yeah, but if you go too fast, it stovepipes." I'm like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Do you have anything that's used, comparable in price?" They're like, "No."
No.
I'm like, okay. And I'm like, "Okay, so what if I just need to tear this thing apart to clean it?" They're like, "Throw it away."
It's
They
a
literally told me to
one-time
throw
use
it
firearm.
away. They're like, if you've used it to the point that you have to take it apart, just throw it away.
You should clean
I'm
your
like-
weapon after every
You
time.
can't.
Yeah,
You can't.
It's the way it's
yeah.
constructed. You can't even pull the grip. Well, you can pull the grips off, but it doesn't get you really anywhere with this gun.
Dude.
But in order to get to any of the mechanisms, you have to pull the pin out with a punch, get the slide off, hope it doesn't shoot across the fucking room because they put like a rifle
The
spring in
spring,
there.
yeah.
Just to make
The
sure,
spring
you
is
know?
ridiculous.
And then,
Oh,
You
you'd be
know.
amazed. I've still seen people like the people in the Canadian Forces that should know how to detail strip a
Dude.
C7 like blindfolded. Still will like put down the pin for the buffer string and just you hear like while we're cleaning, boom. I'm just like,
You
oh
hear
my
a shock.
god.
That thing's
well,
gone.
It's like, dude, how do you not know how to do
High
that?
Point's not even the worst gun that I've owned either. I owned an Argentinian-made Bursa 380 auto. I fired it. It came off the rails and sheared the barrel
Oh my god.
almost completely in half.
Oh my god.
Wow. I didn't realize Bursas were that bad.
I didn't either.
I thought
Oh,
bursts
dude.
were actually pretty solid, but
No.
I'm never buying another
I've
one.
never heard a good thing about him, but god dang, you just said bad words about Glock, so I have a problem with you right now, sir.
Okay. I said it shoots like a brick. Is that is my store, and I'm sticking to it. That is how I feel about shooting Glock.
Which Glock do you have?
Okay. I have a Glock 19.
Not a 23.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
No, I said my I like shooting my Sig P360, I think is what I have. I don't remember.
Which generation of Glock 19 do you have?
5th gen.
God damn it, you don't like it?
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it feels like I'm shooting a brick.
Yes, but does it hit things?
Just it does.
Okay, that's the important part. If it hits the thing you're shooting at it in the area you were shooting at, you're good. If
Yeah, P365. That's the one. Thanks, Rex.
Does it bite you?
Okay, I'll be honest with you. Okay, my Glock is more reliable than that fucking Sig. That Sig jams all the time.
Dude, I am not a Sig Sauer fan. I know a lot of people are. I just have never been.
I've got a 22 long rifle, 6 Sauer pistol, a Mosquito, and I like shooting with it. It's
Really?
very, very, very cheap ammo. It has almost no recoil. In fact, I always said that like if there ever was like a legit zombie situation, I would probably leave. Yeah, I would probably leave most of my guns behind. I would take my Ruger 1022 and my 6 Sauer Mosquito, and then like 7,000 rounds of ammunition that I could fit in like a box this big.
Yeah,
Like,
that's accurate.
That's the big thing. It's like, okay, man, if you just need to shoot something in the head and like destroy its brains, like I can do that with a 22. I can't do it from a kilometer away, but like I'm willing to bet I'm probably going to live longer if I have tons of ammo on me than if I've got like 30 rounds that need to last me for the next 7 years.
See, and I always thought.
Go ahead.
No, please.
Oh no, I was going with it. Okay. So back to the whole of the Glock. It's not that
Damn
I'm
it.
shooting the
We're
Glock.
talking about zombies. I was still in the zombie mode. Go ahead.
But anyway, one thing I picked up recently, which I really like, is my 1022 Charger. It's a 22 Charger, which is basically a 1022 platform, but it's a pistol.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so when we're done with the stream, will you show us the beautiful rebuild that you did with your uppers and lowers? Because I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
Oh, you talking about with my my AR pistol? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
The other thing too, out of all the guns I own, as far as pistols are concerned, the 1911 TAC Ops is really fucking accurate.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That is the most accurate handgun I own. As far as my,
so if you had to walk into a competition shooter, that'd be your gun.
I mean, at the moment, yeah.
Okay.
I have an AR-15, but it's actually an illegal firearm now.
Really?
Yeah, they changed the law via basically the Canadian equivalent of an executive order, like about 6 months.
But you're grandfathered in, right?
I don't know. I'm hoping that's going to be the case. They basically, like the RCMP, which is like our federal police, basically sent me a letter saying that like now I have a prohibited firearm and that I need to keep it secure, need to keep it locked, keep ammo far away from it, not bring it to a range, not fire it, not do anything with it, and await instructions on possible buyback. And I'm just like, oh man, I was like, you can't even let me burn like the 1,000 rounds of ammo I have for it.
Well, what you can say is, you know what? I sold that to Merkin.
Oh, I don't think that'll go over well. You can't sell firearms in Canada without like informing the RCMP of. I can't even bring any of my.
Do you realize how ridiculous your police sound? Just so you know.
I mean, like it's not their fault. Like they're doing their job. It's our.
No. But the actual name of the organization is my point.
Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah, it sounds really dumb.
Yeah, I mean, like it's traditional.
What are they
like,
mounted on? Broomsticks?
They used to be mounted on horses. Like
no, I know that, but I mean now, what are they mounted on?
Police cars?
Yeah, well, that sounds like something larger and in their posterior at this moment.
And I mean, they still will be on horses during like ceremonies and things like that.
Okay.
All right, TM Martin for 5 American pesos. Comix Vision, please tell us about your mead. You make it right.
Ooh,
yes,
wait. Oh, wait. Go ahead. I have things. I'll be back.
Okay. Yes, I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you about it, but yeah, I do brew mead on occasion. I have 2 1-gallon carboys I need to rack into bottles pretty soon. Hopefully it's not growing mold because it's been sitting there. It still has the airlock on it, so it should be good. But I need to get those suckers into some bottles soon because I don't want that stuff to go bad.
It's actually kind of like a funny. X-Ray Girl's brother was saying that like he was going to bring her mead, but he forgot it. So I was like, oh, it's the second time I've heard of mead was brought up today for me. It's crazy.
I
very rarely hear about
batches.
mead.
One was like a traditional where it was I used bread yeast. And like the minimum stuff like you could find around the house, like raisins for tannins and what else did I do? It was basically like I want to say like a pound of honey, a gallon of water. It was like some very basic mead, and turned out all right. If you don't do mead right, sometimes I think if you don't use enough honey, it gets it starts turning into to turpentine. It starts tasting like whiskey.
It's like, well, this isn't moonshine, but it can be if you don't do it right.
Tasting like it. Okay, Toxic Man Food for $2, a kilometer away. How quaint from the Canadian. I don't even remember him saying that.
I'm not sure either, but I do.
No, you said a kilometer away when you were talking about shooting zombies from distance.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
so,
it's 1,000 yards. Not quite. You have a different. It's close.
A meter and a yard are pretty comparable.
They're close.
Well, I mean, like if I say 1,000 yards, I think that gives most Americans the impression of what a kilometer probably.
No,
is.
Absolutely, yeah, but that's not true. But it's fine. I mean, if you don't want to be accurate, it's fine. I mean, I thought Canadians were all about accuracy.
Okay, it's 1.6 miles.
Thank you.
Is that better? I could probably hit a target, assuming it was large enough, with a really good rifle. If I was in prone position with like a bipod and like a really, really good wind conditions, I could probably hit a target at 1,000 meters or a kilometer. But it's not going to be a good shot, and there's no chance at all that I'm making that shot with the 22 long rifle.
Oh God, no!
I don't care how long the barrel is on it. That round is not making it that
a long barrel. It's pink.
It's like the pistol Joker has in the Batman 1989 movie. It'd have to be like that, but the equivalent on a rifle.
Oh,
wait! Oh my God! Fuck!
Go ahead.
This is my pomegranate port. This is one of the last bottles of 4 years ago's pomegranate port. I have more of this, but this is one of the last of the 4-year-old. Now, I love making pomegranate port. It's fantastic. Pomegranate is an excellent medium to produce alcohol from. So just keep that in mind. It's an excellent dessert wine. I also make apple vine, and I use 5-gallon carboys when I make anything Comix division.
Hey, well, normally I do 5-gallon too, because I have a 5-gallon carboy, a 3-gallon, and then a bunch of 1-gallon. The reason why I was using 1 gallon is because I was wanting to try out different recipes.
Oh, really? Did you use? What did you use?
Okay, so the first one was like I want to say it was like 1 pound of honey, a gallon of water, and I basically used baking yeast. That was like the traditional. This is how people used to make like kind of mead thing, and then I put raisins in it for tannins and did that. So I did another one, which was like an orange spiced mead. It was basically oranges and some cinnamon. And the third batch is a winter spiced mead. So that is like just in time for Christmas.
Nice.
See, and that's awesome. And I approve. I think it's a lost art. And what do you use in your airlock? I use vodka.
I hear people use vodka. I typically just use water.
Oh, all right. Vodka is good because it's alcohol. So if it accidentally flips over, you have extra alcohol content.
All right. Benjamin Flensborg for 10 Danish krona. No comment. How's it going, Benjamin?
That's awesome.
Sorry I never replied to you in Twitter chat. But I do see your comments. I just need to respond back to you. Toxic
This is-
Man Flu for
This is Applevine, by the way.
Apple Vine.
Yeah, Apple.
Apple.
Say it properly.
Okay. Toxic Man Flu for another 5 American pesos. And he is nice too. I was making fun. Canadians make us jackass Americans look bad. LOL.
I guess if you want to see me not being nice, watch the Gaming with Geeks podcast that we do on Geeks and Gamers on Saturdays at 1 p.m. because 1 p.m. Eastern. Because it seems like almost every single week, Jeremy and I get into like screaming fights.
That's the best. It's one of the best things ever.
Eric,
What kills me is like I never
Gary ads
intended to
Jeremy.
do that. Jeremy will always just like latch on to one thing I say in a sentence and then be like, "I'm going to argue against that." I'm like, Jeremy, why? Last
wow.
week was,
He's
about
usually not
whether or
wrong though, Mark. You're usually
I
always
don't know.
wrong.
Man, like he was saying Nintendo doesn't need a good return policy because no one wants to return Nintendo games. That's a
That's true.
retarded argument. That has nothing at all to
honestly,
do with whether or
fine-
not they should have a good return policy.
They
Oh, wait,
should have.
but how many video games really would you return to Nintendo?
I don't know,
None.
but it would be nice to have the option. I can't see the argument against having the option to be like, if you play a game and like, this is kind of a piece of shit, and then being able to email the store that you bought it from, in the case of Nintendo eShop, and have them be like, oh, okay, you played this game for 5 minutes and decided it wasn't for you. Yeah, sure, give you your money back. Buy another game. Like, I don't see an issue with that. It's a digital license. It would be no skin off their back.
Wait a
at
minute.
all.
Wait, whoa. So you're okay with people buying digital licenses?
I mean, like,
media?
I'm a PC gamer, so like, yeah, I primarily buy digital games.
Oh wow! I like try to get discs.
Discs for PC games? Where do you
Sure.
even find those?
I go to a store.
Okay, but have you ever used GOG?
No.
Okay, so this
GOG
is
is good.
probably, this is where I think a lot of the people that, especially in the last 2 weeks, have been really hammering CD Projekt and calling them an evil company who is just as bad as EA. If you don't know what GOG is, that is
I
the
do.
thing that, or for anyone listening though, GOG is CD Projekt storefront. So like the people who made Cyberpunk and The Witcher, they have a storefront called GOG that sells games with no digital rights management. So you're basically buying legal cracked copies of the games, like pirated copies that you can make copies of. You can hand them out to your friends if you want. You can upload them to your Google Drive to protect them. You can burn them onto 10 hard drives all around your house, put them on a Blu-ray, whatever you want. So you actually own those games.
That's why
the
GOG is
only-
amazing.
Exactly. And that's why like so many people have been throwing CD Projekt under the bus and calling them evil the last few days. I'm like, guys, they're still the only people who sell us digital games we actually own. Like they're the only one who, like, when you buy something from them, it's like you legit just have that game. And if they do go out of business, which is kind of looking like it might be a possibility, you can download all your games from them before they shut their servers down and then still have them forever. Whereas if Valve goes out of business, I'm losing probably 90% of my Steam games because that
So
is just a
are
digital
things
one.
not looking good for GOG right now?
No.
Well, it's CD Projekt. CD Projekt's in hot water, to say the
They're in.
least.
They're fine though. To the extent
I don't know.
it's an exaggeration, Mark. I mean,
Well,
come on.
let's hope so. But like when you're talking about things now, like they're investors filing a class action lawsuit against them for fraud.
It won't. It won't go anywhere. It won't go anywhere. You have to prove. You have to prove willful intent. It's going to be impossible. Not to mention that.
I don't know how Polish law works though. So like it's more I'm trying to think worst case scenario, mostly because I still do like them. I think that the state that they launched Cyberpunk in is kind of unacceptable. And actually, if after the stream, my review just went up on Geeks and Gamers, and I talk about
good.
all that. I talk about all that stuff in greater detail. It's like a 33-minute review and a lot of stuff about like the good things about CD Projekt, the bad things about what they've been doing. And my worry is that in this like kind of blood rage to like take CD Projekt to task over not showing console footage of Cyberpunk, we might end up losing the only service that actually like respects property rights. When it
Yeah,
comes
I
to,
know.
like,
That's
buying video games.
ridiculous about it. It's like, let's
And-
not cut off our freaking nose of Spider-Face.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of why I've been the one that's been defending CD Projekt in the arguments that we've been having on the Gaming with Geeks podcast, because I'm there with Lethal Lightning, who it wanted to return the game before it became a refund fiasco and absolutely hates it. Ryan, who makes 3 videos a day talking about CD Projekt's lies, and Jeremy, who like will always take the hot take topic and or like the spicy take, which right now is CD Projekt's evil. Like,
I don't. Okay, so CD Projekt Red, not evil, but what we found out is they're not different than any other gaming company.
No, they're not. That's ultimately what it comes to.
I mean,
right?
again, like I would argue that, or I mean, I guess if you're saying CD Projekt Red, like
Did they also like bend the knee to China over something?
for Devotion? And yeah, actually,
Devotion.
I was planning on
Devotion?
bringing that up as well. So Devotion is a Taiwanese horror game that's apparently very good. That was on Steam last year, but because of some let's say Chinese activism, got pulled off of Steam, and it's been exactly because there was actually like a Winnie the Pooh, literally a Winnie the Pooh meme in the game, and that got some people from China to protest the game. And
No, not some people. Sponsored people.
Exactly. Okay. Like, I mean, at the there were what are likely nefarious influences from China that got a game pulled off of Steam. And it wasn't really much of a controversy. Like it was sort of news, but I don't think really a lot of people cared all that much. The reason there's a lot of focus on the GOG version is because on, I think it was December 15th, it got announced that it was coming out on GOG on the 18th. And then like the next day they said, and the response that we've gotten from gamers, we've decided to not release Devotion on the GOG store.
And then gamers being China.
Yeah, like let's it's like, okay, it wasn't gamers. It was probably the same people that got the game pulled off Steam to begin with.
Winnie the Pooh.
Exactly. And where I sympathize with GOG there is because I'm willing to bet any amount of money is that they did not want to do that, and there was probably like some pretty specific business related reasons, I'm guessing. And this I have no evidence beyond like speculation, but right now you can buy Epic Game Store games through GOG's client, and 40% of Epic Games is owned by Tencent, which is a Chinese company. So I'm betting, my bet, again, based on nothing but my speculation, what I know about these companies, is that someone at Epic was like, if you put this game on GOG, the Epic games are not going to be on there, and then you're not getting a slice of any of the sales that we get through your store. And business-wise, especially with them already having a bunch of pissed-off investors, they probably could not make the choice to be like, well, fuck you and fuck China. We're putting this game out there. Because, I mean, it's a game that honestly probably maybe 1,000 people would have bought max. Like it's unless it got out in the news and a bunch of people that wanted to specifically spite China bought it. But I'm not sure that it would have made them more money than what their deal with Epic is doing. And I say this as a person who hates Epic, and I actually was kind of pissed off when GOG made the partnership with Epic, because now sometimes I will see games that I was waiting out their Epic exclusivity on the GOG store and then have to see the Epic Game Store tag on it. I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, I thought that was an actual GOG game there, but no, it's just the Epic game being sold here. But yeah, no, so it's bad, but I think that like if we're gonna be like, oh, like now ban GOG because they won't sell Devotion, it's like, okay, well, the game's not coming to PlayStation ever, it's not coming to Xbox ever, it's not coming to Nintendo Switch ever.
I'll call it out. I'm not going to stop using GOG though, because GOG is it's the only thing out there that sells games that are DRM free.
Yeah, I know, and that's kind of what I kind of focus on, because I've seen a lot of people on threads talking about Devotion that are like, oh, okay, boycott GOG, and I'm like, no, don't, because your other choices are Steam, who also stopped selling Devotion, and Epic, who are 40% owned by China. So if you think you're owning GOG by going over to Epic Store,
no, you're not.
Yeah, like, well, no, here's the
weirdest thing.
Price to China.
Here's the weirdest thing about that, Mark, is that the owner, the guy that started Epic, said, I'm willing to get rid of Tencent. He said specifically, I'm willing to get rid of them if I have to.
Well, it doesn't get rid of the spyware embedded in their crap, though.
No,
I mean, maybe,
look,
and like even I'm willing to turn a blind eye to the spyware. I think because ultimately, like, because I mean, the spyware thing, it's one of those things that you kind of have to like prove it, and then that gets into.
It's easy to prove. It's kernel level.
Sure, yeah, but what I mean is like it still gets into like, okay, now you're doing with tech talk versus tech talk and having to like prove things based on like evidence. And a lot of times when people say, oh, like Epic Store is Chinese spyware, they'll not be saying it because they've really done the research. They'll be saying it because they saw it on a forum. And so I'm not saying that, I want to be clear, I'm not saying it's not true. I'm saying that I tend to steer away from that argument because I find it gets a lot of people to just stop listening. The important thing is still owned by Tencent 40%.
Yeah. Oh, no,
so
that's
you
the best argument.
Whether they're spyware or not, you're still giving 40% of your sticker price for every game directly to China.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a problem. I mean, and that's the other thing most people don't understand. When it comes to a Chinese company, you're dealing with the Chinese government directly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's no
And
such thing as a completely private Chinese company.
Nope.
That's true.
And it's
Which is-
sad. Like, I mean, I think that it's put a couple Chinese developers in an interesting position because there's two pretty promising games coming out of China, or I guess three now that Genshin Impact.
Oh, there's a fighting game coming out that I really thought was beautiful. We were talking about it on you weren't there, unfortunately, Mark, on the Gaming Lounge about 3 weeks ago. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's an amazing fighting game, independent game. It's ridiculous. It's coming out of China, Chinese developers. That it's amazing. I'll have to find it again, but it was cool.
The ones I can cite, there were Black Myth Wukong though, that looks like kind of a Souls type game, like a Sekiro game about the Monkey King legend. And the other one is Bright Memory, that I've actually played quite a lot of because it came out on early access on Steam a while ago, and it's actually on GOG as well. Both of those are made by like very, very small teams that I think were working for Tencent and then decided they didn't want to like be churning out mobile games. So they branched off and started making their own projects, and their own projects are really, really solid. I'm not sure though how Chinese government intervention deals with like if it's just like an independent game developer, like because I know Bright Memory is like one guy and Microsoft has kind of picked it up and they were pushing it as like a big Xbox Series X game. So I'm hoping that they probably I guess again based on no actual evidence that they probably got the guy out of China and Microsoft's just like set him up somewhere to finish his game.
That's the war we live in.
Mentioned that he wrote an article about this last year, Mark. So
Oh shit! Here
Oh
we go.
really?
yeah, he says so. Mark is speaking facts.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, when it comes to video game stuff, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Mark's only Canadian. He's not dumb.
Yeah.
So, yeah. See the flag?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and also I think I sidestep a lot of ignorance by like citing that I'm not speaking when I'm talking about things based on speculation. I'm always pretty cognizant of trying to clarify that it's like here's what I think happened. Whereas I find a lot of people, especially when you're talking to gamers about gaming industry stuff, is they'll speak as if they know every single thing that's a fact backed up by evidence. But then if you ask them to provide it, it's like, well, I heard that guy say it. It's like, okay, well.
No. It's it's very thoughtful, and I can't imagine that you're wrong based on the way you presented it. I mean, it's very logical. It's the way I would present an argument, saying this happened X, therefore X. I mean, it's not that hard. You just follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
I think
Follow
that
the-
at least
follow the-
Comics and I, at the very least, though, are on the like to bring it back to the topic, are on the same page with like.
There was a
GOG,
topic?
like GOG having DRM free games, and then
Yeah.
that kind of spun us off into other stuff. Is that like it is a service worth supporting, and that even if you're pissed off at CD Projekt for what they did with Cyberpunk, I would still want to remind everyone that they still give you games that you actually own.
But
and
Mark,
that's valuable.
Here's the dude. Okay, let's dive in. I'm not pissed at CD Projekt Red, and we had this conversation backstage before the show even started.
I'm not super pissed at them either. I mean, they obviously, released a very buggy product, which I'm not too happy about. But I'm enjoying my experience. I understand that the gameplay should be better. Not the gameplay, but the graphics should be better, like what we've seen with their, what they've been releasing. But like I said, it's not a terrible game. It's just like deliver what you promise and promise what you do.
But here's the thing, Comics, they were overly ambitious, distributing across 5 different platforms.
They were.
And they really should have focused on the PC and ported from there. Because honestly, if you develop for the PC and you get that freaking nailed down, then distributing or porting over is much, much more, it's much simpler.
That's
right?
what they did with Witcher 2, and like honestly, the PC version of Witcher 2 had way fewer problems than Witcher 3 did at launch.
I feel
And
sorry for Sir Talks-A-Lot. He looks bored.
No, he just sometimes he sits there and then like he makes smart comments and smart faces. So if you just watch.
So as a person who's never actually played Cyberpunk 2077, I've done 30 minutes and hey man, I'm broke as fuck.
I would recommend to most people to not play it right now. Like
Well,
I think if you're on the fence, wait 6 months.
Well,
Like,
no, see, I'm not
February.
on
February.
And the thing is once I have the money, I'm going to buy it. And then the reason is that from all of the platforms that I've been hearing and from what I've seen so far on the Xbox, it's not as buggy as PlayStation. And I mean, yeah, I'm not going to get the frame rates as I would on a PC, but I have a 7-year-old laptop. I can't even run it anyway. So when I'm going to buy it, and since I played through all of the Oblivion glitches, I played through all of, I don't mind running through
if you've gone through a Bethesda launch game.
Well, my big thing is, like, I'm not playing on PlayStation, so I won't deal with as much shit as everybody that's complaining about it, because all of the bitching that I'm hearing is coming almost exclusively from the PlayStation side of things.
But they're trying to run it. They're trying to run it at optimal settings. They can't. You have to turn down the graphics to get any performance out of it on especially base level PlayStation, old school.
Even on the Xbox One X, because that's the console version that I've been playing with, that I haven't put nearly the amount of time I put into the PC version. But I found that just turning off motion blur helps a lot, because when I was turning the camera in particular, the motion blur on the Xbox One X version I found was like, it made me feel like I was drunk while I was playing.
Yes, it's because they use a focal distortion effect.
Yeah, I turned that off and I was like, this is like way better.
Yeah, my brother said the same thing. But if you turn off the film grain, it even helps.
Yeah, it loads the shit out of the processor on your graphics card when you're trying to do that focal blur thing, because it has to do like 4 different types of distortion just through that entire motion. So even if you turn slightly, you're really taxing the processor there. But anyway. Look, I played freaking Skyrim when it came out, and I wanted to shoot my face off. So
played Fallout 3, including Far Harbor, was it?
No, Fallout 4 with Far Harbor.
No, it wasn't. It was the Fallout 3 expansion where you're in the swamp. I'm forgetting what the name of it was. But I played all those on PS3. That was not a good experience.
No, Fallout 4 when you went to the swamp.
Zeta started crashing into the oblivion. Like the Mothership Zeta was the last Fallout expansion that I tried to play. And around the last missions, it was just crashing to the point that I'm like, I can't play this.
Well, and then here's the weirdest thing. Everybody's pissed off about freaking what's happening with Cyberpunk 2077. And there's so many other games that were way more egregious. I mean, Arkham comes to mind on PC and every other platform. The freaking Fallout 76 made me so enraged.
Point Lookout was the Fallout 3 expansion I was talking about.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Far Harbor was okay, but
the frame rate in Point Lookout was getting really rough on PS3.
Yeah. It made me so upset, because it's like Bethesda has gone downhill steadily. CD Projekt Red has done everything they can to fix whatever that is. Like I said, Witcher 3 was not perfect when it came out. Had lots of glitches, I even had crashes.
What people they're pissed about was like with that launch trailer that we saw with the game footage, how amazing it looked with all the people, and it's like what we got was very different. So
because if you look at but I understand that, because if you play on my PC, this is the problem with the stuff. When a gaming company is presenting you something, you cannot expect them to present you anything but the best that they have to offer. You just can't. And that's going to come on the best that is available equipment. So when you have a $3,000 PC or more, you have this monster that's going to be able to yield these video reproductions that you can't get on anything that has less performance. And so, but what do you want them to do? I mean, it's like when you introduce yourself to a girl, you're going to give her your best possible performance, right? You know, and you're going to hope that day it's not cold outside, so you have like another inch and a half of Johnson to show off, and other stuff like that. I mean, that's the kind of shit you're going to hope for. Yes, Comix wound me up, and now I'm going full. He did it again. Did it again.
So it's too easy. Too easy. Let me get this super chat real quick. Benjamin Flensborg for another 20 Danish krona. For the Bacon Buddy, as would be proud. This is something, I want to say it's an inside joke, but he sent me something on Twitter, which was the Bacon Buddy thing. So,
oh, God.
Just so people have context around that.
You know, you white people are really funny.
What are you talking about, culture? Anyway,
I'm only 23% white. Just so
okay.
My friend Christopher, who's a extremely gay Filipino man, and also extremely racist, says that I'm not white enough. I'm off white because I'm Italian.
Oh, dude, yeah,
I didn't pass his racial purity test, so he doesn't want me.
Wow, dude, no. Plus, actually, you kind of look. Yeah, you look very like I'm gonna go Mussolini on your face right now with the beard.
No, yeah. Oh, my beard's like super short right now because I screwed up while I was trimming it. Like,
dude, it looks nice though.
So here's the problem with the guard on your trimmer, right? See, I have this problem all the time. Like if you push too hard on your face when you're doing it, like it shrinks the freaking guard, and then then you have to do your whole. And then if you do it again, it gets really thin. So I don't do that anymore. Now I just set it.
I started just like trimming the bulk here into like a V, kind of the way Comics Divisions is, like his chin. And
dude,
that was looking fine. The thing was,
awesome.
I still had a lot of mass on the sides going out here, and the only reason I'm cutting it myself is because my barber, who usually does it, I made an appointment for Wednesday actually to get a haircut. And they said that they can't do beard trims because of COVID restrictions.
Yeah,
so I'm like, oh crap.
Boat I'm in.
And I was like, and my beard was like overdue for a trim too. So I was like, okay, I guess I got to do this. And I ended up cutting it down a bit shorter than I wanted it to. So
and normally about every couple of months I would travel to Florida and I'd go to the Art of Shaving. They would do this amazing stuff on my face, and they can't do that right now. Mm-hmm. Very unhappy.
How are we doing on time, guys?
Well, I don't care. We can go forever. I have not slept ever. Well, it's been a long time. Let's see.
I was up till 4 a.m. getting my Cyberpunk review.
Oh, so you're good.
Not being claimed by the K-pop band who I play 8 seconds of one of their songs, and I think now it's 4.
I mean, the K-pop band?
No, the band's called Blackpink, and the joke is because my the Glock I have, and that's my dog like wheezing.
Has anybody? Okay, so Mark was talking about getting a haircut. I've never seen Mark's hair.
I mean, I'll probably have hat hair now. I usually just wear my toque because, like, I find it looks stupid when I have my headphones on here. Oh, my beanie.
Beanie. Okay, all right, thank you.
But just because if my hair is like a mess or something like that, it looks shitty, especially with headphones on.
No,
so I'm just
it's fine.
I've kind of just made it so that I wear.
No, it was just interesting that you had hair and you had a barber. It was intriguing.
No, yeah, I mean, if you look at like my Instagram or something, there's tons of pictures of me without a hat on.
Bookgram?
Mark the Cyborg. Yeah, lots of pictures of my dog.
Robert's saying that Mark is rocking the Tim Pool haircut.
Clearly, thank you, Robert, for supporting me. Yes, I have never seen Mark's hair because I don't go to the Graham book and the face thing. I don't know what that is.
Give me a second. I'll try to.
No, it's fine. It was a joke.
No, I'm just gonna see if I can figure out what's going on with the dog. But I will be back momentarily.
Bye, Mark.
All right. Yeah, make sure the dog is good. That's,
yes. No. We are animal people here.
Absolutely.
You know what? Look at how you could not be more Irish. Sir TalksAlot.
Why would you go and say a thing like that there?
Well, mostly because of the giant Celtic knot, the like. You have this like crazy ass like Irish thing going on your arm. Is that like birth control for Irish people? When you wear stuff like that, you don't get laid.
He's got the.
Mark has hair, kinda.
There you go.
And he's muted. And I see a puppy.
Sorry, I haven't got my headphones back on yet.
Yes. Look at the puppy.
Oh, your dog
I
is
love
cute.
puppies so much. Oh, dude, his dogs are the best. I freaking love it when he shows them on streams or videos. It's so great. So great. It's great.
Great. Well, we have another one from Margie, as always. Margie, you're so sweet. You really
Jesus
are.
criminy, Margie. Holy cow.
Yeah, $9.99 American pesos. Cockroach gender studies money for Pakistan. Guns I want to buy now. Great gaming tips and beards. You guys cover it all.
Thank you, Margie.
Thank you, Margie.
My
You
God,
are very
she's so
generous.
great.
I do appreciate it, Margie. Thank you.
Oh, she's so just wonderful. Just wonderful. Wonderful.
The beards are the important part.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know how you could do this twice a week, Margie, like you've been doing recently. So I truly do appreciate it.
So
It seems like it's too much.
So I'm thinking of going back to the goatee. So if I do that, should I go with the Terminator X or Static X? Like braid my stuff like my goatee. Should I look more like Comix? Comix has a unique I'm like going to be like King Tut Pharaoh kind of look.
Well,
I don't know if I can do
If
that.
I grow the mustache, it doesn't connect. So I just have the mustache and then the goatee.
Yeah, but that's really cool. Fuck, what do they call that? It's a really cool style. It's called
That Fu Manchu.
damn it. No. When it's a
Dirty
mustache.
Sanchez.
No, that's a
definitely
whole other thing. I actually educated a bunch of people on Mary Mayhem stream the other night with that. Yeah, the Dirty Sanchez. They were not prepared. They went to the Urban Dictionary and it was no bueno. No, no, but mostly. No, it's this really cool thing. It's a particular kind of goatee that I like with the mustache and the thing. Oh crap. It's really cool though, and but mostly, I was trying to compliment Sir TalksAlot on the very Irishness that he is, except that he's wearing double birth control like things, which means women will not come anywhere near him. Look at that.
These are my paracord bracelets from my buddy in the Air Force.
Yeah,
He makes these every day. He makes these things, and he made these, and he's like, "Green's your thing, so here you go."
Yeah,
He does that all the time.
guarantees you'll never get laid. It's automatic birth control, dude. It's fantastic.
I'll make sure to pass that on my wife. I'll make sure she knows that I can't get laid anymore, bro.
No. I didn't say you couldn't get laid. I said they were birth control.
All right, hang on. I got a couple super chats I need cover. Toxic Man Flu for $5. Wow, Sir TalksAlot turned into a father. With that accent. And of course, I have to have Danny coming and harassing me.
Oh, dude, fucking Danny.
Danny, Comics chat for $2. Comics, I command you to gather. I command you to change your grade to A minus. That's not going to happen, Danny. You should know better. And he's talking about my grade of the last episode of The Mandalorian.
Okay. Wow. Hey, can we talk about that? That would be fun. Hey, Mark, by the way, you're a good dude.
Thank you.
I give you a hard time, but you're a good dude. I just don't want people to think that I have beef because you're a good dude.
Do you give me a hard time?
Sometimes, because of your PC fetish.
Well, I'm to be fair, of the last 3 videos I made, 2 of them were PS5 games.
All right. Well, in honor of other humans who have to sleep, apparently, also with red hair, we should maybe wind. I'm sorry. I just wanted to talk about fun things and I missed that.
Well, we can talk about more fun things on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Oh, wait, Thursday's a special day.
Christmas Eve, yeah. So.
Yeah, that's the day my house fills up with a bunch of the reject in-laws.
Cool.
Yeah, I know.
Can we get them on camera? I'm
actually going to do Christmas stuff, on Thursday rather than Friday, which is good, which means I can still make Friday Night Tights. So, we'll play it by ear. Maybe we might start later.
I'm here.
I don't know.
Well, look, I'm here. I'm here to entertain humans. And then Friday, I'm doing my regular Friday pre-flight, which will be Christmas oriented, and I'll say things like "Merry Christmas" and "Happy Hanukkah," and there's a Kwanzaa thing or something. And what's the other? There's other weird stuff. Festivus.
Hanukkah?
No. I said Hanukkah already, but I think Festivus and
Festivus isn't real though.
oh, it isn't.
Yeah, well, it's not a joke.
It's from Seinfeld.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I thought it was real.
No, it's like a joke, dude. Hanukkah thing now.
Festivus is
It's the airing of grievances. I've been doing that for
yeah,
years. It's not real.
Frank Costanza's tradition where they gather around a pole and talk about how much they pissed each other off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, we've been doing. Do you know how long we've been doing that for?
So real quick, let me get
We're
Danny's
on the
chat
internet.
here.
We do it every day.
Yeah, I just did a video of where I think Star Wars took an easy road with Luke instead of Mace.
Oh,
yeah, dude, I got to
dude.
check your video. Dude. Check that. Danny, you're a great dude, man. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Dude, Mace Windu is freaking awesome, and he survived that fall.
And
A lot of
he's
implications
an
with Boba Fett,
underutilized character, which is the reason why I agree with Danny about bringing him
Well,
back.
wasn't that Star Wars Theory? I think he was supposed to be doing Mace Windu
I don't care
versus
about Star Wars Theory
Well,
anymore.
I'm saying, but you got to give him a little bit of credit for that
No.
Darth Vader fan film he made. Like, it was the production value on it was like pretty solid. He was
Sure.
sort of doing better than Disney was doing at the time. But
Not
I
hard.
think his plan though was that he wanted to have the next episode of that be like a fight between Darth Vader and Mace Windu. So,
Oh, dude, Mace is badass.
there is definitely a fan community of people who are like, yeah, no, Mace Windu did survive the fall, bring him back.
I'm
But-
in that
did.
camp. He totally
My-
survived.
My worry, though, of that the more often they do that, is it will start making it. Granted, like Disney Star Wars is like almost basically full on fan fiction at this point, anyway. So it might not really matter. But death used to mean things.
but it
Sometimes-
doesn't because okay. So here's the problem. Let's start at the beginning. Darth Maul, dead.
That was probably the first one that was like really like okay, but like did
Emperor,
you have to
dead.
also
Well,
like horrible
that's-
example.
That's terrible.
Like that's what I mean. It's like the Darth Maul one I was like okay with because they hadn't done that a lot yet. But like now it sort of seems like
They've done it with
they're
everybody. But honestly, the only one I felt like should have survived should have been Mace Windu.
Yeah, well, also because I think that he would be an interesting person to have in the like post episode 3, pre episode 4 era. Like seeing
Plus,
what
he's a
he was
bad
doing.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
in my tabletop game for Star Wars, I brought him in basically the idea that he survived and he had like a prosthetic arm.
He did, dude. Look, Luke lost a freaking hand. Darth Vader lost, I don't know, everything. The dude fell off a cliff because he got electrocuted. I think he's good.
Well,
Yeah,
and also
it's
we've now established that not Darth Vader, Boba Fett can rebuild all of Fennec's abdomen in the desert with like
I know that was
presumably
ridiculous.
zero resources. So like, I mean, who at what point does a character need to die to be actually dead? And this is also a world where like Mando is basically the term, like his armor essentially makes him Iron Man full.
Yeah, dude.
He's just invincible. So I'm like, and like, I mean, even I was like, you don't even really need to touch the girls running down the hallway, just like owning stormtroopers as if they don't matter at all.
I know.
Like there's just, I
me.
guess what to tie that all together though, I think that what Star Wars seems to really have a problem with right now is stakes. Like there kind of aren't any.
They had
And,
stakes.
like-
Wait, but here's the weird part, Mark, and I'm going to say this because I can and because I have good hair. It is that at that very moment.
Before we go down the rabbit hole, I know that Sir TalksAlot needs to bounce, so let's get him out of here. We can
Sorry, man.
talk for a little bit, and then we'll call it.
Well, no, see, now he's not even going to be here Thursday, so I can't make fun of him then. I'm really unhappy right now. Merry Christmas, you douchebag, and Happy New Year.
Christmas to you, you feather-haired douche yourself.
Thank you.
It's supposed to be my exit video. Give me a break. Anyway, I'm Sir TalksAlot. Make sure you catch me over on my Sir TalksAlot YouTube channel. I have some other voice acting stuff going on right now, so some of my content's going to be a little spotty as far as release schedule. But I do have the Sir TalksAlot Teespring account. You can head on over there and you can get yourself a nice t-shirt, coffee mug, or a sticker. It's called TalksAlot's Trinkets. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.
Robert is asking, have him say, "Go away now."
Go away now.
I guess maybe in a
Like Critical does.
The critical trigger. Yeah. So
Like Critical does. Critical Drinker?
Yes.
drinker.
that's all for today. Go away now.
Yeah.
That's all for today. Go away now. I don't understand. I haven't watched a lot of Critical. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. It's
Great,
fine.
dude.
You were
Oh,
very
that's
close.
fine. You got a treasure trove there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Dude, you make a living off that dude.
Yeah. All right.
He's the best.
I'll have to check him
Awesome.
out. But thanks for having me on, Mark.
Dude,
Yeah, man,
seeing
great
you.
meeting you.
I'll catch you guys next week, maybe.
I hope so, brother. Miss you, man.
Oh, we have to discuss at some point in time getting in contact with each other because he's dropping off of Twitter. I'm thinking about getting a group together, and we'll do that. Yeah.
Dude, I will give the people I trust my number because I am at the point now where I realize Twitter, amongst other things, is going to die.
Yep.
Yeah.
On that note, yeah, I'm deleting my Twitter on Christmas Day. I've decided I'm not going to do the live stream, but I'm just going to give myself a nice little mental health break, and then I'll get back on Parler probably around the second week of January. So
That means you have to show them your penis in order to be verified.
I'm already verified.
Oh, all right.
That's terrible.
I already done that dirty. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good night.
Take it easy.
Later.
Oh.
What were we talking about?
Steaks
I don't know.
and, Star Wars.
I the fuck up.
I completely agree with what you said because it's like when they're running around and they're killing all the stormtroopers, no one's getting hurt. It's like that so diminishes the stakes of everything.
There
Well,
was one point.
It's not one thing in isolation though. It's kind of everything. It's like
It's in every episode.
Mando's invincible. The stormtroopers are constantly just cannon fodder, and like they never even injure one of the heroes.
Okay.
And and then even the dead people kind of seem to just constantly be coming back whenever they need to. So it's like, well, I mean, is there any actual danger in this universe? Like, and I don't
Steaks.
know.
You ready for steaks? Here's steaks.
Medium rare.
Yeah. Okay. In the episode, there were stakes. The Death Troopers showed back up after they got blowed out the airlock, and you're like, fuck, that was bullshit. I mean, seriously, if you were not watching the episode going, yeah, but you're seriously like, fuck, that's bullshit. That was a fucking waste. They were built up as these fucking invincible assholes, and then guess what? They came back in.
I'll give them that. The having them use their Iron Man boots and not forget that those existed was at least better than it being a one button destroys Death Troopers Deus Ex Machina.
It was a problem.
That absolutely would have been worse. And they
dude, during the episode, this is me reacting to that. That's fucking bullshit. I mean, seriously, I did that. The boss is like, what? And then of course they come back because Iron Man, and then they show up back in the thing. And I did this on my video today. If anybody wants to watch me go, yeah, but it wasn't because of that. It's because of the Luke thing, which we'll get to in a minute. But so they start doing their like hammer hands, all Iron Man style. Wow, there's a lot of Iron Man in this. Or they look kind of like they also look like
the guy who directed Iron Man had something to do with it.
Yeah, but there's also like this moment where you go, oh shit, those are Centurions from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Which is what I did, which is what I talk about in my video also. But they're like beating on the blast door, right? And then they stop. And then like somebody goes fucking Ginsu on them, like from the hangar bay of an X-Wing, not knowing, and then this is the weirdest thing. And I swear to God, this was totally fucking like contrived. They went from black and white to a moment of color where you saw a green flash from the hooded figure of their lightsaber. And then they went back to black and white in the overall shot. And then you get to see fucking Luke walk in after he slayed every fucking buddy.
I am happy that they didn't limit it to only the CCTV footage of Luke. Like I was like, once they actually started,
but it was a tiny little
scene with him.
It was a tiny.
It was still better than anything they did with Luke in the whole sequel trilogy.
Well, it's true, but
don't get me started. See, that's the thing that pissed me off. And I'll be honest with you, this episode pissed me off. It really did, because it's like, this is the Luke Skywalker we should have gotten the entire time from Disney, but we didn't do it. Why? No. Why do we get this now? Because they're fucking hurting. That's the reason why we get it now.
But I think that honestly, the like, well, granted, I guess this is me like kind of defending the decision to put Luke in the episode and use him the way they did, because I did think that was pretty strong.
I think it was the right thing to do, but it still pissed me off.
My problem though with not just even this episode, but like the whole show, is that it seems like almost every single episode is like first draft, shoot it. Like they spend like no time thinking about the logic of anything that's going on in the show. It's just like, okay, no, in this book, this episode, he's meeting up with Ahsoka Tano. We have, I don't know, fucking throw Michael Biehn in there as like some bodyguard, and then like, I don't know, have him fight a lady who's got what can fight a lightsaber? A pure Beskar spear. Oh yeah, shit. Okay, so Beskar can block lightsabers? Cool. So now we can have Mando fighting Jedi. And then it's like they don't really think about anything they're doing. They just kind of like go with their gut on what they think will look cool. And then just, it seemed like, I think that they should have, they really needed to get another season of Mandalorian out within a year. And I think that the writing process is where they skimp time on. Like, let's just get the scripts out,
you're right.
Get them done.
All right. So
back to the Beskar thing too. That's one thing I've always noticed. It's like, Beskar seems to be a blaster bolt magnet, so they're always like shooting Mando and nobody else.
They hit
like,
nobody else, but they have perfect game against him.
Get like between what the plates and get hurt. I mean,
well, that's the other thing. They haven't actually shown any of that they miss, right? Because stormtroopers miss apparently all the time. That pisses me off. That means fucking bullshit.
It was fine before, but like now with stormtroopers missing is like canon. And that's weird, man.
Well, they intentionally missed so that they would let them go, and that nuance again. They always want us to pay attention to nuance. They didn't fucking pay attention to that nuance, you fucking assholes. Stormtroopers are not bad shots, but anyway. Fuck, where were we?
Said these blaster bolts, blaster shots are precise.
I was about to say, it's like everyone forgets that line from Star Wars.
Everybody forgets that line. I always bring it up. Man.
Yeah, and then all you have to do is watch something like Troops and realize that fucking stormtroopers are legit. And that was a fan film thing.
Yeah, it was awesome. One.
Troops, yeah,
that was pretty good.
Your dog is cute, by the way.
I had points to make, and you guys destroyed them all because we started talking about other stuff. There were so many things. But here's the thing. We didn't get the Luke that we deserved in the movies. We got him for a couple of minutes, and it turned a lot of people's heads. And to me, like comics, it pissed me off. Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, there were so many other ways you could have told the previous stories. But knowing what I know this. You're going to get Max Lloyd Jones in the future in a Luke Skywalker series, which I talked about in a limited way in the video that I talked about on my channel today. You're going to get the Fett series, which I've been talking about for months.
Well, that was definitely confirmed.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't definitely confirmed until today. But I'd been talking about it.
It made sense why it wasn't at the.
There are lots of things.
The conference, because it was okay. So,
but
it's
that's
because
the thing.
They wanted to do the Marvel style post credits scene.
Exactly, and both Script Doctor and I were talking about the things that were going to happen that weren't talked about in the Investor Day, but because there are 3 other series that were ready to be talked about, and one of them wasn't the Luke Skywalker one, but the Luke Skywalker one is not just on the horizon, it's actually in the development process, and that's why I did the video I did today. And I've been hearing about that for a while. I've been hearing about a lot of stuff for a while. I heard about Luke Skywalker being in this show for a while, and you know what? I couldn't do anything with it. Do you know why? Because I couldn't confirm it, because I'd only heard it once, and I'd heard 3 different versions of it, which one of them included Ahsoka, which I said in my video today. And so I couldn't run with it. And I wasn't going to anyway, because I think that falls into spoilers, in my opinion.
Did we lose him?
No, he just turned his camera off.
Oh. Yeah, sorry. My eye is freaking acting up because
I turn my camera off whenever I yawn or something, or I
can't.
That he stopped talking too.
Yeah, no. What do you want me to say? Fuck, my eye itches. Eat a bag of dicks. What do you want me to say, Mark?
I don't know.
Anyway, no. But it's the weirdest thing. We end up in this. We're in a weird world, and this is what I wanted to talk about just a minute ago before we got diverted, and that is this. Favreau writes the scripts in treatments, and then he writes scripts around those treatments, and that's what happens. So when you're complaining about the way the scripts are being written, yes, the previous season was rushed because they had a hit on their hands. They needed something to get going forward with Star Wars, and they needed something that was going to be a vehicle for other shows. And that's what this season was all about. So with that being said, and I'm itching my eye again, Mark, so you can be comfortable with me turning my camera off, is the fact that Favreau is now not only written the treatments and the scripts for season 3, which was finally announced today, which I've been talking about for a while. Me and Tom and a few others have been talking about for a while. Tom from Midnight's Edge and Script Doctor and others. We're also talking about the fact that he is not just well, technically he's done with the treatments for season 4. So season 4 is ready to go for script writing at this point. So we are moving forward rapidly with the show. We have to, because this show has to introduce successive shows. They have two things that they can talk about. They can talk about the MCU for streaming, and they can talk about Star Wars for streaming. They have no other way to develop stuff for streaming. They're in a box right now. They know the future is streaming. Kevin Feige actually talked about the future is streaming today in an article, and I'll try to find that for other people to look at. But that's out there. Feige talked about it specifically today, and there it is. And not only that, they've promoted a content person to a different position aside next to or parallel to Alan Horn today for the purposes of content distribution at Disney. So they know where things live right now, and it's only on the streaming platforms. So for those of you out there who are paying attention in the chat, just understand that Disney knows where their bread is buttered. They know that half of the stuff that they announced at the Investor Day may or may not get made. And they also know that they surprised a bunch of people a couple of days before the Investor Day with the fact that they were going to be announcing the shows that they were basically in pre-production for. So there were a lot of surprises. But do expect not only a wonderful limited series Boba Fett series, the Book of Boba Fett, the Book of Fett, whatever you want to call it. That thing's going to be amazing. And look forward to a possible, if not probable at this point, Luke Skywalker series. So there you are.
They got to work on their CG if they're going to do that. Luke Skywalker.
Well, they're going to stick with him. Just, I mean, like a lot of people have been saying, well, Sebastian Stan. Well, Sebastian Stan's kind of involved in some other shit right now. Yeah. Not only that, despite what other people think, including my great admiration for Robert Meyer Burnett exists in the world. But when it comes to this, he does not look a lot like Luke Skywalker. The guy that they got, Max Lloyd Jones, actually looks like him.
Oh, so they actually cast somebody.
Yeah, if you see a picture of the guy that they face-apped onto, Max Lloyd Jones. I didn't know his names, but he does look quite a bit like Mark.
He's very close.
He's I almost feel like the
CG thing, or this is his natural face.
Very close.
I think that if they're going to do the CGI, they should workshop it a little. Maybe because I saw a recreation that someone did with putting the face app of Mark Hamill on deepfake, and it actually looked better. So it does.
It does. Here's the problem though. This is the weird thing. So they're recreating a face from multiple different shots, right? Mm-hmm. They don't have a life mask, a digital life mask from the point in time in his life that it would have existed, right? So they have to do a composition of multiple different shots that mimic like a completed face. Mm-hmm. So that's what you're looking at. They also didn't digitally superimpose the scar that is actually on Mark Hamill's face from the motorcycle accident or vehicle accident that he was in.
Kind of an oversight.
Yeah. Well, but that's okay. But that's there were certain elements that were missing. But the biggest problem with this, according to most people, was the fact that the lips didn't line up with the talking. His speech didn't work out. And so I thought the CGI was passable.
I thought it was too, except when he talked.
Yeah, exactly. And but you're going to see more and more of that, Mark, unfortunately, but you're going to see better representations of it because they're going to have better digital life masks of all of the actors going forward. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just didn't have it for that. There's no library for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
So
fair.
because you have to, so it's not just a photograph. This is what most people don't understand. You have a depth mask that's married to that. So it's the same thing with digital production when you're talking about video games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have depth and texture and obviously photographic references, and so that's how that technology works. But yes, Mark is 100% right. I have seen way better deep fakes, especially of the scenes that they did recently in The Mandalorian from just Joe Blows. Joe Blows are doing a very good job of deep faking right now, and it's not. There's lots of ways to come about it, but all I want to say is you could very well see in what you saw the future of what could be Star Wars, because you can bring all of these characters back to life digitally, and of course, Mark Hamill has sold his digital likeness to Disney.
Probably made a pretty penny off that. I'm willing to bet that chances are the estates of the people who have are not with us anymore are probably not totally against more Disney Plus series happening with like Carrie Fisher.
It's already been done.
Okay, so Robert is asking, what exactly is a deepfake?
A composition of someone's face onto another person who is talking, and sometimes it can actually also match their voice. If you look at actually some of the most hilarious ones are, what was it, Collider that did the George Lucas ones? One? Yeah, the George Lucas ones that Collider did was like, it's honestly, bar none, the best thing Collider's done in like the last 5 years. Like they were legitimately hilarious because it's just a deep fake interview of George Lucas just shitting on the sequels.
Yes, he did a good job too.
It was written really well. It was very funny, and it sounds a lot like him. It looks a lot like him. Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, I mean, think about it. I mean, they've done, that Tom Cruise 2020 commercial with the guy that looks like Tom Cruise.
I have not seen that. No.
Oh, that's very good. And then, of course, the best deep fake is, of course, Grand Moff Tarkin.
Well, that one was kind of famously a little weird looking in Rogue One.
It was. But then, do you know what they went on and did? Princess Leia from A New Hope at the end of
the same movie.
Rogue One.
Same movie.
Yeah. But that one was way better. And then, you know what the deep fake guys did from Collider? They made it even better. Really? It looked more and more like her. So the technology's there. It comes down to depth mapping, and you have to be committed to what you're doing. But some people don't believe that the time that you invest in doing stuff like that is worth it. Mm-hmm. But it's the weirdest thing. It's like I'm going to create a maquette. It's a digital maquette of the thing I'm working with, and you only have to do it once. That's why digital life masks are incredibly important. We've been doing death masks forever, since like way back in time, and we have death masks.
Hang on, something that Manu keeps bringing up, and I want to highlight it because I think it's important. Honestly, I wish they'd stop toying around with these things.
I don't disagree with you.
The thing is that when it comes to these things, nobody stopped and asked, should we do this?
No, but no, that's actually
about what you could do. You never stopped to ask if you should.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely right, and it's brilliant, and I agree with you. It's not. I don't think it should be something that we dabble in. I don't like that idea. I mean, we're removing the humanity from performance. We're removing identity, to be honest with you, and that's a problem. I mean, you would think it would be exactly the polar opposite of what those who are identitarian would like. You know what I mean?
I think fundamentally, like I guess like at like an ethical level, I have less of a problem with it if it's restoring a person's likeness in order for them to use a character that is specifically tied to that likeness. I would have a bigger issue with it if it was like, oh man, like we're making this movie about this like rebellious teenager. You know who would be perfect for this? James Dean. Let's do James Dean, and like it's not
But they talked about using James Dean.
But
yeah, his likeness has already been sold.
It's why, because it's like that's kind of like the easiest example.
But it's been sold already.
Like, famous actor who died before his time. But the thing is, like, that is the thing that I'd draw the line, because I'd be like, well, but I mean, do we need a Rebel Without a Cause too? Like, no, we don't really. Like, I mean, and we don't need
we don't, but you know that they would do that though. That's the
exactly.
thing.
And so I think that I have more I guess more patience for them doing it for like Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, because Luke Skywalker is Mark Hamill, and like, let's face it, as much as like I don't think Solo was Alden Ehrenreich's fault, but I don't think it necessarily worked out very well.
God, piece of shit.
But like, I don't want to seem like I mean, the kid did what he could with the material, but like, I just think it was good material. But I think that kind of proved that, like, well, maybe recasting these like iconic roles with new actors isn't really the way to go if you're going to try to have it exist in the same universe. Like, whereas actually, like, as much as I really don't like the idea of them like remaking the original trilogy, I probably would have been a lot happier with Disney Star Wars as a whole if they just said, hey, we're leaving Star Wars episode 1 to 6 and the EU and everything. That's its own thing in its own universe. We're rebooting Star Wars and doing our completely own thing with no connection. That would, to me, be more like saying, we had Batman with Michael Keaton and Batman Returns, and then we did like those other ones. Now we're doing Batman Begins with Christian Bale. Totally different thing. Has nothing to do with those ones.
They could just basically say they could either jump to a time period that's not connected to the present movies.
Yeah, that can
too. And just make stuff. You don't have to reboot the universe.
I think that though, like the reason that's me just being a realist. There's no chance that they would never touch the original trilogy or prequel trilogy eras. There's like, they would never be able to resist it if they like just say push 400 years in the future and just said, okay, all Star Wars is from here going forward from now on. I don't trust that Disney would last 2 years doing that before they decided.
Well, that's the problem, and that was the problem with the show, and this is the conversation that we're going to have, which is the Mandalorian is a vehicle to convey all of the other shows. Mm-hmm. And they have to work from the time period that everybody is unified in, because they don't have anything else. It's the same problem that they have with J.J. Abrams and the Kelvin timeline with Star Trek. And I was on a show with Midnight's Edge earlier today talking about this very thing. And while these two things are not like the other, they still are the same thing.
I think though that on that point, I have less of a problem with the J.J. Abrams Trek movies and Kelvin timeline than I do with Star Trek Discovery trying to say, and Picard saying, yeah, we're in the original Star Trek universe and this is what we're doing with it.
But they're like, not. They're divergent even from that. And they finally established that.
Weren't they? But for like, at least in the lead up to it, like, granted, I don't watch the shows because they both look horrendous to me. But
they are awful.
I think it's like they're in the Prime universe or something like that.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing is they acknowledged the Kelvin timeline in the Terra Firma Part 1 with the Corvids dude. In this like most recent set of episodes. So
I just think that like if you do the reboot totally separate universe thing, it doesn't necessarily make the stuff that you're making better. If anything, it puts it at a bit of a disadvantage because you got to try to reestablish things that are already, the work's already done on. But what I think it does do that's beneficial to people like us for the most part is it at least preserves our universe that we liked and doesn't ruin it by making Luke Skywalker the kind of person who would spark a lightsaber over his sleeping nephew. Like, I mean, at the very least, it just, you can do that if you want in your new universe. And then it's like, okay, at least officially, that's not my Luke Skywalker. Whereas now they're like, no, that's what Luke turns into. I can't wait for the day they explain that, like, oh yeah, that actually Kylo was the second baby that he tried to kill. Grogu was the first one. That's why Grogu's not around. He kills Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda's having a bad dream.
Margie has a great comment. Ewan McGregor's facial features hit the same or similar points of recognition as Sir Alec Guinness' features. Enough that Ewan could be a young Alec. And it worked. Yeah, I agree.
Fair. But I think that like with Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness, it was so much younger that like we never saw Alec Guinness in the era that Ewan McGregor was playing Obi-Wan, especially like in episode 1, 2, and 3. Like maybe now it'll be a little bit closer. But I think it's a bit different when you're casting like an actor like Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo, that's supposed to be like what 5 years, like maybe 10 years before
It's not.
A New
It's-
Hope. Like it's not
isn't-
it's not like 40 years earlier.
They,
right? Like,
but they had a representation of what Han Solo would look like. They had an actor they could have cast in the role.
yeah, I forget the kid's name, but he was really good. He's the one that has like a YouTube videos of him doing.
Yeah, yeah. He looks like he looks like him. He acts like him. He
Sounds
speaks like
too,
him.
yeah.
What the fuck were you thinking?
I think they specifically wanted to like differentiate their Han Solo, and
Yeah, well, it fucking differentiated the shit out of it because it sucked balls.
I know, and that's why I don't really understand it. I'm like, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna be
Culture,
like,
you need to turn your gain down a hair.
Oh shit!
sorry,
I'm sorry.
and
You're speaking a little
if I'm low, it's just because my neighbors sometimes complain, and it is getting pretty late now. I'll see if I can turn myself up a tad. But,
Well, no, but he's actually peaking, so his will
Oh,
crackle on occasion, which means he's peaking the mic.
okay, well,
Yeah,
hopefully
I-
I'm not too loud now.
Or StreamYard is being shitty, but
But I,
it-
like I think though, like just to cap off what I was saying is, I think that they wanted to kind of have their cake and eat it too, where it's like, oh no, this is the Han Solo, it's your Han Solo, but it's also our version of it. So eventually, you're going to start looking at this as the real one. And I think that they were arrogant enough that they thought that that was actually going to work out that way, at least when they were planning it, and it really backfired.
Is that better?
yeah, that sounds good. Especially when you start talking louder, it tends to. You'll
Oh
crack
no,
on.
I'm very angry. So
Actually,
yes,
I
that might
put
be
this
why.
ear off just so I could be mindful of how loud I'm speaking myself.
No,
No,
you're I think you're good.
You're great and handsome, and I hate you very much. So just say.
So Marty also brings up, I don't want to see a deep fake Chadwick Boseman playing T'Challa's Black Panther. I feel that it would crash. It would be a cash grab and disrespectful to the actor's memory. I heard that they're looking to have him in there to pass it on to whoever is taking up the mantle, which I
Shuri,
believe
who
is
might get canceled for being an anti-vaxxer before.
I know that was fucking.
Oh
funny.
yeah, Miss Wright. Yes, that's garbage, man. That dude. You know what? Here's the
They
thing. Oh,
colonize it in every film.
Well, how about this? Like, just like, how about we stop caring what celebrities' opinions are when like their whole thing is that they pretend to be other people.
Yeah, I know that would
I
be
mean,
the
if
thing,
you saw-
right?
Well, I think if like someone goes off on like a blatantly like super racist, like, oh no, actually Hitler did nothing wrong type tirade, then you could be like, yeah, maybe this person shouldn't be working in polite society. But like when it's like, I don't know if I trust that, or like my religious beliefs say that we shouldn't be getting vaccines. It's like, okay, you're nuts, but like I'm not paying you to do my medical care, so I don't care what you think.
you know, Mark, you sound remarkably like the lady that started Planned Parenthood. So good job.
Yeah, I mean, like, do what you want is what I'm saying. But like, ultimately, when it comes to the views of the people that pretend to be other people on screen to entertain me, I don't ever need to know what they think. In fact, I would almost prefer to not, because the more I know
For some
about who
reason, they
are,
want to share it all the time.
Well, they want to share, and there's plenty of people that want to hear from other people, because I think there's a lot of people who just want everyone they like and see on TV and see in movies to just be exactly them. And so they can be like, oh man, Arnold
There's not.
Schwarzenegger, turns out
No.
he loved Cyberpunk 2077 just like I did. He acknowledges the problems, but Arnie's on board with that story, man.
Dude, that is the People magazine perspective. There are not that many people in the world, dude.
I think it's insane. I think it's insane
No,
that
because there's-
anyone cares what any of these people think.
No.
Like in their private lives. We just shouldn't know.
They want to know that they eat bread. Do you eat bread? Yes, I eat bread.
And
That's
then
the
you
shit
have all
they
the
want to
keto
know.
people that are just like, oh god, that person uses carbs, cancer.
Yeah. Oh no. But no, nobody thinks in those terms. There's this weird world where you think that people think in these terms. There's these absolutes. There isn't. You guess what? I like certain foods. I don't have to like the foods that you like. It's okay. I like pepperoni pizza. Well, I only like
wait,
sausage
you're not
pizza.
vegan? Okay, I gotta go, Comics. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
can't
see,
do this.
So then that's the bullshit nobody believes in. But that's the world that they want us to live in, and that's a problem. Because every single thing has to be a dividing line, and this is the thing that we talk about. Oh, dude, Robert, you were 100% right, my friend. It did lose money, and I fucking love Jeremy for that statement. But anyway, we'll go back to that. They divide us. Every single thing right now is designed to put you in a box, and the more boxes you check, the happier you are, the more social credit you're going to get in the future. So try to invent some boxes, guys, because you'll need them.
Robert, the answer is a resounding no for me.
Yeah.
Fuck candy corn in its ear hole.
3 for no on that one.
Oh, there you go. Woo.
We can continue the stream now, even if culture is not vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, please don't make me set fire to this stream.
And also, I don't want to start another rumor. I'm not communist, nor am I vegan.
and he doesn't like candy corn. He knocked out 3 right there. 3 things knocked out by my good friend Mark.
If there's ever a food crisis, we should probably eat vegans. They're grass fed.
You're going to be grass fed and tasty.
They're going to be very gamey.
No, not that gamey. They won't be fatty enough for me, but that's okay. I know how to make a good rub.
I don't know.
I'm going to go full Alex Jones on vegans. I'm just saying.
I'll eat your ass.
I'll eat your ass.
That was a glorious moment.
Mana's asking, hell's wrong with candy corn? It's sugar flavored wax. That's what's wrong.
It is. It tastes
right
like
the
wax. It tastes like the wax it's between your grandma's toes after she hasn't taken a bath for 3 weeks. And then they coat it in sugar, thinking that that's going to help. That's what that's candy.
That's rather repulsive, Culture Casino.
Hey, I tried. Did it work?
It's pretty repulsive. But Mata's saying, but it's good.
Okay. Like what you like.
The other controversy. I think this was more like an EFAP one, though. It was Twix versus Reese Cups.
I like them both.
I would take Reese Cups any days.
I think
wait. I would if kill a man for a Reese Cup.
No, for sure. No, and that's the thing. I just want to espouse this because as a libertarian, like what you like, love what you love. And as long as it doesn't interfere with my daily activities, I could give 2 shits.
Oh, wow. Okay, so to answer Britain questions, I got Bitcoin when it was at $100. The naysayers said I was crazy, and I wasn't. Fun fact: for now, gold will beat stocks. Silver will outperform gold and XRP.
You're 100% right, Marjorie. You were 100% right.
I actually checked the price of Bitcoin the other day, and it was at like $24,000, and I was like, man, so even when it was at like $10,000 a couple years ago, I could have bought one, and that still doubled my money.
Yeah, dude, a friend of mine told me to get into Bitcoin years ago, and I'm kicking myself for not listening to him.
I still remember, I think it was in like 2013. I remember listening to a Joe Rogan podcast where he had like a Bitcoin guy on, and back then Bitcoin was like $500, and I was like, I don't really have $500 of disposable income right now because I was in school at the time and I was poor. But I really wish I like just, I don't know, went to my parents or anyone and just be like, hey, can I have $500?
Oh, wait, Comix just whipped something out.
My latest batch of silver, I just
good for you, sir.
Oh, nice.
Good for you, sir.
Finally came in the mail since everything is like slow right now.
Dude, if you have safes, silver is a good thing to put in said safes.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Comix, we talked a little bit about Tesla. How you feeling about Tesla now?
Tesla's doing pretty good. I mean,
and I'm telling you,
$100 since I bought that stock.
And what am I telling you where we're going to go? Dude, I'm not kidding.
You basically said it's going to go up a lot.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, but so here's the weird thing about Tesla nobody understands. There are certain kind of investments in this life, and sometimes you invest in brains. The biggest investor in brains in the history of the planet right now would be Elon Musk. Elon Musk owns all of the brains. And when I say all of the brains, I mean all of the brains. So, yeah, good choice.
So Eric has asked me, which is better, Broforce or Candy Corn? Broforce.
Broforce. And I hate Broforce.
You hate Broforce?
Well, it's medium.
It's the only game where you can blow up everything.
I don't know. I watched people do that dumb shit fucking Fortnite game. I tried to play that the other night. That was terrible. Here's the thing. This is one of those times when I'm glad that we weren't live streaming my experience on Fortnite. Yeah, no.
So that is who Elon Musk is dating or married to, I think.
Awesome.
She plays Lizzie Wizzy in Cyberpunk. It's great.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking about a guy who's got his eye on the future. There you go.
Yeah, dude knows. Dude knows. Speaking of which, so Comix, did you see the character that Lethal Lightning created in Cyberpunk 2077?
No.
Huge tits and a huge dong.
Yeah. Well, you only have two dong choices. You have small, flaccid, and
I
medium
chose penis
flaccid.
1. I wasn't ready for penis 2, the sequel.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. They're both flaccid.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, in the selection screen, there are.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, were you expecting a fucking raging hard on when
no, I was expecting the ability to like have a slider for dong size.
Yeah, to be. I was actually expecting.
I was kind of annoyed by that too. I
For the
was
longest time, I was saying
slider.
dong sliders to the right on the podcast.
I was gonna go.
But
I was gonna be John Holmes of fucking Cyberpunk, but that didn't happen, and
I'll
so
tell
I
you
went
what,
with vagina only. By the way, there's only one vagina style.
Yeah, that is a little strange.
But what's really cool is you can vajazzle.
Rude jackass.
What happened?
I was about to say I was most surprised by the fact that during the sex scenes in Cyberpunk you don't see your dong, because like I was like, why did we pick our dong?
Yeah, that's true.
If we don't see it during the sex scenes.
Yeah, I know. With the romance scenes, you don't see the dong. You don't see the vag
you can't
either,
control
dude.
the camera either. I was like, oh, like they pumped the brakes on this a little bit.
Yeah, no, man. I wanted to see the vajazzling and all the other stuff that went along with it.
God.
And it's the other thing you couldn't do. You couldn't pierce things. There's no like decoration.
Yeah, the character customization leaves a lot to be desired. Like,
yeah,
as far
especially
as-
in the genital area. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, for genitals, they do give you more genital customization options than pretty much any other game that's ever existed.
That is true.
Or at least
No.
AAA,
No.
made it
Wait.
easier.
Wait. Saints Row. Saints Row 4.
I didn't
Saints
play
Row 4 allows you to choose your bulge.
Interesting.
And I feel like you get to do more grinding in Saints Row 4. It just seems like then the sex scenes are more realistic. You get down with everybody regular in that game, and you know you have to really work really hard to get like the romance options in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, they're pretty rewarding though, at least that I found. Although I really wish that I had a camera on X-Ray Girl today, or actually yesterday.
But
Sorry,
what do you did you get down with Judy?
No. I'm a male, so Judy's lesbian, so you can't hook up with her if you're.
Oh, I know.
But but Panam is best girl. I'd take Panam over Judy any day. But the funniest thing,
Panam's freaking smoking.
Almost the funniest thing I ever saw though was X-Ray Girl yesterday was playing Cyberpunk, and her desk is like right there, and she got to a sex scene, and just everything she was saying and her reactions was like the funniest thing I've ever heard. I was like, I wish I was filming this or at least recording the audio, because this would be like this tweet would blow up. It was so funny.
Oh, dude, you would have blown it up. Yeah.
And
it's
and
true,
then,
though, because the boss...
The funniest thing, though, was 5 minutes later, she got, like, a text from the corpo lady from the beginning, and then ended up having sex with the corpo lady, too. And she's like,
Oh,
I've had sex with a man and a woman inside of 5 minutes.
Dude, okay, so that chick, that corpo chick, she's down. DTF, dude. Plus, you get the dong at the end of that if you grab it at the end. That's fucking amazing. Oh, dude,
like,
it's an amazing weapon. It's called fucking Sir Dong-a-lot. Wait, I've got it somewhere. Let me see if I can share that shit. I probably can.
So there's basically a dildo melee weapon.
It's fucking tremendous.
Speaking of Saints Row, I think Saints Row 3 was
I thought that was a Saints Row thing.
Dildo sword famously.
Wait a minute. Shit. I did an amazing thing last night. I created an award for someone. Fuck. Where did I put this? God dang it. It's going to drive me crazy.
I should probably talk instead of just listening to Bart type.
I only didn't mute because no one was talking. So I was like, at least my and I was responding to the chat though. So I'll just say it. Runner.
Okay,
I was like, he's a lesbian. Damn it, you spoiled it. I just said I just saved you some time if you were gonna go for it. Unless you're a female character, in which case, there you go.
apparently, it's the Tonto dildo is what Robert is saying, but I can't show it because I'm getting the error message again.
Okay, all right.
Thing is, I saw a
wait,
thread on a Facebook forum the other day where someone was like, "I think it's so regressive," or so, I forget what the term they used was, that none of the characters in Cyberpunk are pansexual, and it's like all of them are only attracted to men or only attracted to women. And like my comment is just like, this gay character won't turn straight because I want them to. It's like, yeah, it's like that's super progressive to be like, yeah, no, like why can't I have sex with anybody I want in this game? It's like, well, I mean, the characters have like preferences, like we all
Just
do.
like people.
I mean,
Well,
I don't want to
sexual
go with
preference
the
is
like, oh,
problematic.
everything in the game needs to be realistic, but it's
Okay,
like, well,
I
it's not-
find it. I'm going to share it.
Is this something I can actually share?
Probably not. Check it out first. Holy shit.
Well, I can kind of see it, but I'm pretty sure I can't share it.
You can probably share it.
And this is where the stream goes off.
I think that's okay. It's very clearly inanimate.
It's not like I whipped it out in
Kind
front
of
of
curious
anybody.
about with streaming with the nudity. I mean, is that going to get problems on YouTube?
I don't
with,
know. It's not really nude. It's like a dong. Like
No, I'm talking about with the game. With the game.
Can you show Michelangelo's David?
Yeah, you can. And here's the other thing. So I created this award for Mad Mardigan because I was on. So this is Mad Mardigan's MVP award. That's the lightsaber version of what you can have. But see, I was able to do that on Mary's stream, so it's probably fine. It's probably okay.
All right, guys. I think it's time to call it.
I've never had. Okay, so wait, that's not true. I've had a lot of fun. Today's been good.
I had a lot of fun too.
Yeah, and despite the fact that that I've now seen Mark's hair, I'm okay.
Ronnie says, "Excuse me, why I whip this out?" Quoting.
God, I love that. Blazing Saddles is one of the greatest films ever. If you try to cancel that, I'll excommunicate you from life. That's all I have to say.
Oh, I just realized I was muted. The two qualifications for my hair, though, is that I did preface that it looks really bad when it's greasy and been under a hat, and that's also why I wear my hat on stream, because I don't like having to deal with it.
Fair enough, dude. That's why I'm wearing the hat today as well.
Look, but see here, if you have this hair.
Oh, I'm in the military. I can't have hair like that.
Oh,
although I mean,
No,
at the same time, I
was
probably
late.
wouldn't
Oh,
anyway. So.
There we go. Look at that.
Look, so we are getting close. We're getting close to the point where I can donate my hair. We only need 4 more inches. We get 4 more inches. It goes to Locks of Love. And then I start all over again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's go around the horn, starting with our very special guest, Mark the Cyborg.
Hello.
Look at how
everybody.
handsome he is. Hey, look at those eyes.
all right.
Wow, sexy man.
The eyes are okay. I think that my lighting helps, though. But no, I'm Mark the Cyborg. I work for Geeks and Gamers. I make video game content over there. I'm pretty much like the guy who does actual video games and not just industry news. I just released my Cyberpunk 2077 review. I know we've talked about it a lot, but if you want to hear my feelings and thoughts on the game in depth, Geeks and Gamers is where you'd find it. I think the title of the video is Cyberpunk 27 Review, A Beautiful Disaster. And and then like my own channel, I mostly just do streams with my girlfriend. We play the Metal Gear Solid games while she gets confused by the story.
And we also have Culture Casino, the man with the flowing hair.
Look,
All he
there's
needs
some.
is 4 inches. And then you
That's
can
true.
donate it.
Yeah, well, no, then I could be John Holmes. But beyond that, I just want to say things about stuff. And those stuff and things are these. I have a small YouTube channel. It's getting bigger by the day. Well, no, it used to be getting bigger by the day. But then, things happened and YouTube decided that I was going to get less subscribers. So if you're not subscribed to me or you think you're subscribed to me, check that you're subscribed to me. Why? Because YouTube is unsubscribing people daily, not just from me, but from many other independent creators. Now, we only have each other. Do you know why? We don't have a big industry that's supporting us. We have us. And that's it. And you guys. We have you guys. You guys are the best guys. We need you guys a lot. So please support everybody, all independent creators everywhere, including me, but mostly me. And some other folks as well, like Sir TalksAlot and Mark the Cyborg, who, is okay. And then, of course, the very amazing comics division, who allows me to come on his channel, and he winds me up and then gets me to talk about things. And and we always end up somewhere else, but not exactly on the thing we were talking about. But beyond that, thank you so very much for being here. We appreciate you. Have a great evening.
So Margie's asking Rumble. Yeah, I'm probably going to be looking at expanding into Rumble. It's like I've been neglecting my other platform.
Even platform?
Which I'm forgetting.
Pixel Nation.
No. Well, there's that too. That's another thing I'm neglecting is Pixel Nation. But no, I'm also neglecting that. Shoot, thank you. That's the thing I was trying to remember.
Yeah, the bit with the shoot and the poop shoot.
What I want to do is I want to create an app where I can upload to all the different platforms. Would make my life easier.
Hey, can I use that app, please?
I would actually kill for one of those for Twitter and Parler. Honestly, like I keep on forgetting to use Parler, mostly because I'm just not on it very often. But I'm on Twitter all the time, so I was like, man, I really wish every time I like wrote a tweet, it would like just automatically post to my Parler. Because then I think I would be responding to more Parler notifications.
That was like my issue with Gab. Is like I'd be more focused on Twitter and forget I'd have Gab. It's like God. It's like I need something to post to both. So I'm gonna write an app at some point to handle this shit.
I've got like I don't have tons of followers on Twitter or anything. I think I've got like 700, but I've got like I think like 5 people that follow me on Parler. So part of me just
you're just not very interesting over there.
I know, I'm not. I really just post my videos. But
I mean, it's not nothing personal. It's just like, you know. But no, mostly, here's the problem with Parler. Parler does not easily convey from Twitter and vice versa. And they don't, Twitter doesn't like Parler a lot at all.
I wonder why.
Think it would need to be a third-party app that does it.
And here's the other problem with that. You have to give them your penis size, your blood type, and other stuff.
That's kind of my problem with Parler.
Yeah, and so I'm going to provide them with my passport card at some point, just so they leave me alone, and I can DM people. But it's a lot of hoops to jump through, and I can understand.
Can do that. That's bullshit.
But I understand why they want that.
Oh, I understand why they want it too, but I'm not going to give it to them.
Well, I don't give people a lot of things, but I'm not going to go there. Anyway, we need a platform. So if you can make that happen, Comix, I will give you $1.
Okay, good deal. Okay. Yes, Robert, there'll be more content coming to the Great Reset channel this week. I'm off. I have time. Just like the last couple of weeks, it's just been inconvenient.
And we'll be there. This is going to go there, right?
It needs to.
Okay.
But we didn't talk too much about the Great Reset. That's kind of
well, we can talk about it real quick. It sucks. I'm very angry. And everyone who's involved should probably find their way into a furnace.
I will clip that and put it on there.
Personal property rights are a good thing.
Yes.
Use that as a clip if anyone calls me a communist.
All right.
Plus naked time. Also a good thing.
You should be allowed to be naked if you want to, damn it.
All right. Good night, folks.
Take it easy.
Koalas in the rain.